Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Let me see. Alice is in the building. What's up, Alice? Welcome in. Let me see. Okay, good. That is working. Kitsy Cat's in the building. H2Fo, welcome in. K-pop edits. Welcome into the stream. Let me get a couple things updated here. Let me see what's happening over here, or what's happening over here. 1 2 3. Okay, I think Black Tara, welcome in. Appreciate you being here. Eve, welcome into the stream. I appreciate y'all being here. Welcome in. Welcome in. All right, we are ready to go. Thank y'all so much for tapping into the stream today. I really appreciate it. Anyone who's joining on any of the platforms, Red app, Purple app, if you're joining over on TikTok, of course, thank y'all so much for tapping in today. Thank you for being here. If you have never been here before, I would love to chat with you for a little bit. Would love to see where you're joining from. If you make music, what kind of, or if you're connected to music in any way, what kind of music you're connected to, kind of music that you make, stuff like that. Lyrical Psycho's in the building. What's up, Lyrical Psycho? Astrid, welcome into the stream as well. I appreciate y'all being here. Let me get a couple things updated. Let me see. Okay, 1 second. I do need to get this changed over here. Thank y'all so much for joining. I really appreciate you being here. Welcome to Track Talk. Welcome to the stream, y'all. I'll explain the whole structure of the live streaming here in just a little bit. Let me get this updated. One moment, y'all. One moment. Jeez, there's like a gnat in here. What the hell? It's flying in my face the whole time. Okay. Let me get this up there too. Severo, welcome in. True's in the building. Sony X, welcome in. Or Sonics, welcome in. Reddit, thanks for being here. Katabakin, appreciate you tapping in. One moment, y'all. Sorry, I'm getting something updated here, and then we'll dive. But y'all let me know where you're joining from. If you make music, let me know what kind of music you make, and I'll explain the whole live stream here in just a few minutes. I'm just getting I changed some things, so I gotta go get a couple things updated here, just really briefly, and then we'll dive into some stuff. Gus is in the building. What's up, Gus? Welcome in. Welcome in. Welcome in. Yeah. Conacy, welcome in as well. Let me see. All right, I think let me get this changed real quick. Y'all, thank y'all so much for tapping in over on TikTok, especially as well. I really appreciate it. Make sure y'all are tapping the screen. Share out the live stream with a few people. Don't forget to send in your heartbeat. It really does help out the live stream quite a bit. Hurricane Bob Dylan. Oh yeah, I'll explain everything here in just a second. Is it Johan? Am I saying that correctly? Thank you so much for tapping in. I appreciate the likes as well. I'll explain the structure of the live stream here in just a second. We don't listen to like popular songs. This is largely for like independent artists, underground artists, to give them tools and tips and give them structure to help them with the quality of their music. Kanabaking, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that a lot. I need help with my music. I'm an Afro dancehall artist from Zambia. Thank you so much for tapping in, Catapult. I really appreciate that. Thank you for being here. I would love to help you. I'll explain everything in just a second. Proof. Welcome in. Machu's in the building over on the Red app. I see you, brother. I appreciate you tapping in. Thank you so much for diving in today. Quinn, welcome in. The Prick of Perfection. Thank you so much for tapping into the stream today. Let me know where y'all are joining from. Let me know where y'all are from, where you're from. If you make music, what kind of music do you make? I would love to chat with y'all for a little bit. Let me just get a couple things switched here. It's a little overdone here. Let me get this up, and then we should be good to go. Welcome from the Philippines. I'm so glad you're here. I would love to visit sometime. My wife and I really want to get into more travel. We just have not been able to. The last couple years have been pretty wild for us. Adley, thanks for tapping in today as well. I appreciate you being here. Okay, I think we're about Adley, I'll explain it here in a second. Give me just a minute. Afro House style, Sonics too. Okay, we got it. Is it because I think was it Catapult said they did Afro dancehall, and then you do Afro House. Beautiful, Sonics. I appreciate you being here. Shaylee, I appreciate you tapping in. I love working on lyrics. Songwriting is one of my favorite things as far as like structure goes, building structure, song formatting, collaborative songwriting, stuff like that. Songwriting to me is one of my favorite things to do. Tuled, thank you so much for the follow over on the Purple app. I really appreciate that. I appreciate that a lot. Okay, let me get a few things rolling here. I mean, Bob Dylan is an incredibly prolific songwriter. What do you think about? Let me see. What do you think about HD 800s? You're talking about Sennheiser headphones. I'm assuming HD 800s. I'm assuming that's what you're talking about. IW2 LED, I think is the name. Shaylee, I'll let y'all know where y'all can send in here in just a couple seconds. I can recommend a couple distributors that are really popular for independent artists and producers and stuff like that. I don't myself have a distribution company, but I've worked with a ton of different distributors. With just the different artists that I work with. So yeah, I can point you in the right direction depending on what you're looking for, depending on budget and stuff like that. But there's a ton of independent distributors that do a pretty great job. Excuse me. Sorry, my allergies are beating me up, y'all. Mark, welcome in. I appreciate you tapping in to the H800s. I think they're fine. I think they're great. I recommend. It kind of depends on budget. If you're looking in the HD 800 range, like obviously you're looking at higher end headphones, you're looking at something that's going to be, pretty high fidelity, kind of audiophile level to an extent. If you're looking at that range, I think that, they're pretty awesome. I have had a chance to hear 600s and 800s, and they were both pretty fantastic. They both did a really, really good job. When I was referencing going back and forth between these Focal Clear MGs that I've now used for a couple years, I was A and Bing these initially at the time with the Neumann Indie H30s. Those are their open back headphones. The Indie H30s. Those open back headphones to me were really, really fantastic, especially if I was biasing towards like production quality and referencing production. Since I do a lot of like mixing on the go and stuff like that, the Clear MGs were the way that I ended up going with. But I mean, the thing that I would say is if you're going to drop, excuse me, $600, $700 plus on headphones, I would see if you can find a way to reference them. Like if you're going to drop major money, like these are crazy. These are like $1,500. Like if you're looking at, buying a really expensive pair of headphones, really high quality, like mixing and reference headphones, try to, email a couple studios and see what they have in there. See if they have any monitors in there you can mix, or you can like reference some of the tracks that you've worked on before and see how they feel, right? Like I was able to reference these because I knew a guy who had them. So I was able to look at them first and check them out before I ever spent, all of the, ridiculous amount of money that they cost to get these. But I wouldn't do it otherwise. It's crazy to drop that much money. And I also watched a bunch of other videos. Thank you for the follow, Rainbow. I appreciate it. I watched a bunch of other videos of some of like really prolific, really, really talented engineers that were mixing on these headphones as well. So anyways, if you have a chance to reference, like if you can find a couple people, like look up some people in your space, maybe in your city or state that you could travel to, rent an hour of studio time or something like that, and see if you can't get your head on it before you drop, $800, $1,200 on a pair of headphones. That's a lot. Okay, sorry, I'm missing a bunch of comments over here, and then I will go ahead and dive into the structure of the live stream here in a second too. So yeah, some of you are asking about submitting, sending in your song, stuff like that. I'll explain that in literally like 30 seconds. Let me just catch up on a couple things. Rambos, appreciate the follow. Type a name and you go hear it. Yaniv, I will explain where to submit and everything here in just one moment. Who's the biggest artist you've worked with? I work completely independently. So I will say this. So I've worked with some cool people. Like I've had the opportunity to work with some other engineers that have done some really cool stuff, and work with some production companies and labels that have done some really cool stuff. The biggest probably credit would probably be there's a group called SongLab. SongLab, I did this like years, and this is probably 5-6 years ago, something like that. But I was brought on for a couple things. I was brought on as a composer for this single. It was a solo publishing deal for the company, or for their label, and for the SongLab group. So I was brought on a single song publishing deal where I co-wrote the song. So it was with me and these gnats are killing me. Me and 3 other artists. Anyways, yeah, Jesus. I was brought on with 3 other people where we co-wrote that song. Then they brought me on as a composer for a live event where they're doing a live recording of the track and like 3 or 4 other versions of the track. And then they also hired me to go to Atlanta as a session musician to play keys on that track and about 4 or 5 other tracks. That record is probably, I don't know, maybe 3-4 million streams, something like that. So, that was cool. I mean, that's not no crazy record, but I work completely, I'm completely independent. So I'm not attached to any major studio. I'm not attached to any major label. I work full-time as an engineer, session musician, and producer, so full package producing, session musician, stuff like that. That's the whole structure of what I do. So I do work full time as an engineer, but I got Tory Lanez on my whatever. I got Doja Cat in the whatever. The plaques. I do it full time. I work full time as an engineer, producer, and session musician, but I'm not attached to any major label or anything like that. And I've done it all completely independently in my own production studios for my entire career, 14 plus years as those different things. So since I've worked, as an engineer, producer, and session musician for the last 14 years, years or so, I've done it completely independently. It's been people like y'all. It's been word of mouth. It's been people on TikTok, Instagram, people that see what I do, and then I work with the band, and then the band tells someone else. But these are largely people that have maybe 20,000 monthly listeners, 400 monthly listeners, stuff like that. Gary, thank you for the follow. Pancake, thank you for the follow. I appreciate y'all. Let me catch up on a couple messages here. If I co-wrote a song with you, do you charge for that or wait till the song is making money? Shaylee, it really just depends on the situation, right? Like there has to be some upside, right? Again, like I don't, at least in this economy, like where I'm at in my life right now, I can't afford to do a lot of things that doesn't seem like there's some level of like artistic inspiration or some level of like mutual benefit to it happening, right? So it's not like if you have a lot of followers, I'll work with you. It's not necessarily that or just cheesy things like that. Like if it's a great song, it's a great record, or it's like there's some great vision and people are experienced and have some tools that allow us to make a really, really great record, then I can do some stuff for free. I've done some collaborative writing for free. I've engineered for free. I've produced for free. I've done a lot of stuff for free. But it really just, to me, it really just depends on the record, because oftentimes what happens when there's like a really big like imbalance in, and again, I don't know any of your stuff, right? But just loosely speaking, Mark Hill, welcome in. Happy Friday Eve to you. When there's a really big imbalance in like understanding and skills and qualities and stuff like that, then in my experience, I just end up taking all of the load. And when I'm doing that when I'm doing that for free, that ends up being a struggle. It ends up being like I'm doing most of the writing, or I'm doing most of the structuring, or I'm bringing most of the expertise and the coaching and stuff like that. And so then, like, before you know it, I feel like I've like curated and molded 90% of a song, and then this is how it's worked in the past sometimes. And then that's, and then the person never releases it, or they never actually try to promote. They never actually hire session musicians. They never actually work with the producer to build it out. And I've wasted a lot of time and energy and stuff like that. So that's like, that to me anyways, long story. Get to the tracks. The tracks talking, please. Yanni, we will. This live stream is called Track Talk. So we do just talk. This is just talking too. I want to chat with y'all. I want to answer questions. I want to, I'm curious about what y'all are doing and stuff like that. Richie thanks for tapping in. To use virtual cables to do your TikTok live setup. No, I just have everything run through my MacBook Pro. I use OBS. And through OBS, I just run, I'm on 3 different platforms right now. So through OBS, I'm going to, I have TikTok, actually TikTok Live is its own stream, but I have basically 2 channels here. OBS is going to the red app and purple app, if you know what I'm talking about. And then TikTok is, TikTok Live Studio is its own space. Nico, always a huge fan of producers and sound engineers. Nico, I appreciate you, man. Thank you for tapping in. I appreciate that. I write a lot. I've read a lot, just struggle with melodies, or I scrap a lot of stuff before it's finished. Yeah, it really is just a Big Country, welcome in. It really is just a project by project basis. It just depends on where you're at in your a message you feed. Okay, it's probably in request. I need to double check. Thank you for the reminder, Shaylee. I appreciate that. It's probably in my request, and it sometimes I'm decent at messages, but I've crippling ADHD. What's that retrack? Let me get you up here too, man. I appreciate you hopping back in. I have crippling ADHD, and so messages alone are one thing, but then the whatever you call it, the request messages are another, because sometimes I forget that those even exist. So I do need to double check that. Thank you for the reminder. I do appreciate that. Okay, let me double check a few things. Give me just one moment here. Let's go, Big Country. I love to hear it, man. Let me just make sure I haven't missed anything here. Anything super, super valuable. Let's see. Okay, I think. And then there's other times, Shaylee, so like I said, there's some times where we're working collaboratively on a structure of a song as far as songwriting goes, and we split the mechanical royalties, we split publishing, we split, sync fees, all of that stuff down the middle, and it's a co-written song, and you can do that right down the middle, without any payment involved or any fees involved. But I worked with a country artist out of Nashville. I worked with them a couple weeks ago. They were working on their first full-scale album. It was like 15 songs, and I wrote with him, but that was paid fee, so I did an hourly fee for that. And if you're ever interested in that, just shoot me a message offline. It kind of it depends on the depth of work that we're going into. So I do, it's a little bit of both. If someone's like really, really needing help, and this is like I'm helping them get to the finish line of a song structure, and we're working with the label, and we're on a time crunch working with the studio, and they have to go. They have a tracking session tomorrow where they're going to like recomp all 5 of these songs or something like that. Then we're pretty locked in, and I usually do a fee for that, just because I've got to like lock in with them really quickly, make sure everything's pointed, make sure it's moving quickly. But then on the other side, On the other side, if it's just like a loose creative thing, then it really just depends. I don't have like a strict way that I do a lot of different things because it kind of depends on the structure, depends on the depth of it. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. Ketamine, appreciate you tapping in as well. Do you offer stock templates for Studio One? I don't use Studio One, so I don't offer stock templates for Studio One. So yeah, that'd be my fast answer there. Is I don't necessarily create any templates. I don't really use a lot of templates either outside of just like my session template that is just basically laying out what buses and whatever I have laid out for like my initial sessions in Pro Tools. In UK, so very far from you. We could do some remote stuff too, Shaylee. In fact, the artist that I work, I'm not in Nashville, I'm in Texas, unfortunately. But the artist that I work with was in Nashville, so we're 1,200, 1,500 miles away. And I worked with him 4 days in a row, about 4 hours each day to finish writing his album. And then he went and tracked in his studio or his buddy's studio. So yeah, I do remote stuff all the time. Big Country, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that a lot. Okay. Yaniv, it's absolutely all genres. It's all genres, all levels of preparedness. It is all across the board. In fact, let me go ahead and get into the music here, and then go ahead and get into the structure retrack. Let me just make sure I've got you where you need to be. So let me pull up this line. I'm gonna keep that. Yeah, I'll keep that where it's at right now. Okay. All right, y'all. Let's get into some music. It's about that time. It's about that time. Let me just make sure. Okay. Oh, this guy. Dang, I'm trying to get a DX. If for those of you who know, you'll know. I'm trying to get a DX7 in the studio. Selling a couple synths to get one. Some of my older synths. Trying to get this DX7, and I found a guy who has one, but he doesn't really want to part with it. Man, I really want this. I got to convince this guy. After this live, I'm going to spend like an hour trying to convince this guy to sell me his DX7. I need the DX. I already got the Juno 106. I need the trifecta in here. I need a Prophet, I need the Juno, and I need my DX7. I need my FM. Okay, let's get into some music. Caroline, welcome in. I appreciate you being here so much. Real, thank you for tapping into the stream as well. For those of you who have never been here before, welcome to Track Talk. Welcome to the family. I love this live stream. Diaz, thank you for the follow. For those of you who haven't been here before, what we do here at Track Talk are 20 to 30 minute long, multiple listen consultations on the structure of your music. This is not a quick review. There are no trash or passes. There's no ratings. There's no polls. It is strictly a long form, like I said, 20 to 30 minute, multiple listen to your song or instrumental if you're a producer, breakdown of the structure of your music. We're going to dive into the mix and master, production elements, sound design, lyric and song structure. We're going to get into the format of your music. I got you, Retrack. Yeah. No worries at all. It's already on the list from yesterday or 2 days ago or whatever. So I'll keep it on the list, but if someone comes in ahead, perfect. There's nothing to it. But anyways, very long form, deep, like I said, about 20 to 30 minutes for each breakdown for artists, producers, musicians, vocalists, songwriters, whatever, engineers, whatever it may be. So if you are interested in getting a consultation and doing a full, it's right here on the live stream. We will listen to your song 2 to 3 different times. We'll dive into the details of your music, break down the structure, give it some specific, practical, and actionable feedback. Go to my profile, click on the link, and just read through it and follow all of the details there. I might work in Pro Tools, Yanni. Go to my profile, click on the link, and then just please read through and follow all the details there. You'll see everything that you need in order to submit your music for the consultation on here. The line, if you would like to see the line, the order, the minimum, anything like that, then just go to the red app or purple app. The red app or purple app, you'll see all the details there as well. If you are in the red app to see the line, order, and minimum, if you're on the red app, again, YT, then go to the description for the live stream in order to see the submission form. And if you are on the purple app, type !submit right there in the chat. Let me see. Let me double check a couple other things here. And also, for those of you who don't know, we were chatting about this a little bit earlier as well. But if you don't know, my name is Torvik. I'm a full-time audio engineer, producer, and session musician. That's what I do for a living. It's what I've done for the last 14 plus years. I'm also a classically trained pianist. So the whole format and goal and perspective of this live stream is pointed in that direction. I'm not here to roast you. I'm not here to tear you down. I'm not here to stroke my own ego. I'm not here to give you exposure and hype you up. up or anything like that. If that happens, like if you do get exposure, if the algorithm is working well or whatever, who cares? Then that's cool. That's awesome. It's just absolutely not my priority in the structure of this live stream. That my priority is to really get into the details of your music, dive into the structure of what you're doing within your production, within your songwriting, within your mix and stuff like that. And hopefully be able to offer you some actionable feedback, some specific feedback. Tep is in the building. What's up, Tep? It's been a minute, man. I hope you're doing all right. Go start on doing. I want to do all the thing only to send. No, that's what you have to do, Jan. Everybody has to follow the same process, because if you don't follow that process, I won't have your song, and I won't have the credit. I won't have anything on there. So everybody has to go through the same process in order to submit your music. Germino, thank you for tapping in. If you want to submit your music for a consultation, go to my profile, click on the link, and read through and follow all of the details. We've been doing this live stream in this format for the last over 3 years. Over 3 years that we've been doing these consultations here on TikTok, the red app and purple app. TikTok's just a little tricky with the way that they do their thing. Off of 800%, I have way more energy. Let's go, man. Let's go. I'm so happy to hear that. I'm happy to hear that, man. I appreciate you hopping in for a little bit as well. Tep's an amazing producer, musician as well. Mark Hill said over on the red app. Now that's a good conversation. Talking about splits. I did a beat and was offered the track for free and asked to split the song and publishing, and they thought that was too much. What was too much? What was like splitting it 50-50? Everyone's different, man. Everyone's different. Every songwriting situation I've ever gotten into, I've done splits down the middle. It's just the easiest way. Chris in the building. Euronymous, thank you for tapping in as well. If I'm getting into a collaborative songwriting realm, let me see. If I'm doing collaborative songwriting, if we're working in a session, there's multiple writers, it's split down the middle. Yeah, it's split down the middle. It's split down the middle. There's just no way about it. Right now, on the like publishing side, might be different. And obviously those splits are based off producer splits as well. That's going to be different, right? Because there's different rights that go to like the music side versus the writing side, right? So like on the mechanical side, if the producer has a 10% split on the mechanical side, then maybe the two songwriters might split the mechanical 45 and 45 to equal that 100 on that end. But then maybe they'll split their 50% of publishing on the other side, 25-25. And then the producer's getting 50% for their musical end, right? So, it really just depends. Markeel, it just comes down to good communication. It just comes down to you understanding what you're willing to give up in order to get a fair price on something. Like there's been situations where like maybe someone can't afford to hire me for a production, but I really, really like their record. So there's been times where I've cut my fee in half just because it's a really, really cool record that I really want to work on. I'll cut my fee in half and I'll take higher percentage of like maybe sync fees, publishing, mechanical splits and stuff like that. So it really just comes down to what are you looking to do? What are you okay giving up and sacrificing as far as the rights that you own on your music? And also just, clear communication. Clear communication. I think that's largely what it comes down to. Micro, thank you so much for Microcosmo. Thank you so much for tapping in. If you do want to send in, anybody wants to send in music, go to my profile, click on the link, and then just read through and follow all the details there. We'll get you up on the board, ready to go. All right, let me double check a few things as we're getting moving here. Man, I really want this guy to sell me I really want him to sell me a 7. But yeah, I wouldn't say like Mark Hill. I wouldn't say that there's like a set in stone way to do it. Everybody does it a different way. Everybody kind of looks at the structure of their royalties and approaches a different way. I've always just looked at the record, look at the artist, talk through their budget, their timeline and stuff like that. No, you're good. You're good. We're chilling until I get a few people in here. No worries at all. If you got questions, drop them in the chat. I'll get to however many I can through the process. Let me double check a few things. Kavanaugh, thank you so much for tapping in as well. If y'all are over on TikTok too, do me a huge favor. Make sure y'all are tapping the screen. Share out the live with a few people. Don't forget to send in your heart me. It really does help out the live stream quite a bit. What headphones are these? These are Focal Clear MGs. Finn Dog is in the building, camping and adventures. I appreciate you tapping in. What are y'all up to? If y'all are coming into the live for the first time over on TikTok, red app or purple app, talk to me about where you're from. Let me know if you make music. What kind of music do you make? We'd love to chat for a little bit, and then hopefully we'll get into some music here in just a little bit. I got to refresh a couple things before we dive in. I started trying to make music. I love that. What did you do to start trying to make? Are you learning an instrument? Are you teaching yourself how to produce? Bro, you talk so fast. ADHD, baby. ADHD. That's the way my brain works, and I can't do much about it. See Ingenuity. Thank you so much for tapping in as well. I get that at least once a live stream. Someone will be like, "Dude, you talk so fast. Slow down." My brain doesn't slow down, hence my mouth does not follow. They're 1,500. They're 1,500, not 5K. I got a track coming out. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Okay, sounds good, Mark Hill. Sounds good. Sounds good. Yeah, not 5K. I mean, 1,500 is crazy. Don't get me wrong. 1,500 is ridiculous. But yeah, not 5K. Not. I guess maybe it depends on where you're from. It depends on like your currency. But they're about 1,500. Notre Daps, thank you so much for tapping in. Absolutely. I do camping videos and I made a soundtrack for it. I love that. That's amazing. That's a great way to kind of utilize your own Foley and utilize your own sound design in order to kind of keep that all in the same circle so you don't have to use stock music. That's amazing. You have additional rights and payment for that too. I have ADHD. Because my first language is French, I talk slower in English. I know, maybe that's what I need to do. I need to switch language. I need to learn a language so I can slow this shit down. Yeah, if anybody wants to submit, I see y'all coming in. I appreciate you talk so. No, I know I do. But I quite literally cannot help it. My brain moves very fast, and so does my talking. There's no way around it, man. There's no way around it. Yeah, if y'all do want to submit, go to my profile, click on the link, and just read through and follow all the details there. See, now we're 2 for 2. 2 people have now said that I talk fast. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Okay, let me know really quick. Who initials RT. Initials RT. You just sent in through the website. Let me know who that is so I can get you in the right space. Let me get this refreshed over here. I probably have it, or we'll see. Maybe it went to spam. No, it didn't go to spam. Let me know who that is who just sent in with the RT, initials RT. That way I can get you up on the board, ready to go. I feel like you need your brain to go fast. Marcy, I got you. Let me get you up there. Just don't forget to send the email with your track, your link, your file, whatever it may be. Ice Americano, nice coffee. Yeah, talk fast, Ice Americano. That'd be turbo mode. that'd be crazy. Sounds good, Marcy. No rush, no pressure. We're chilling. Let me get you up there. I'm gonna get Marcy up on the board. I got you. I appreciate you so much. Send that whenever you have the chance to, and we'll get you up where you need to be. I'm gonna go ahead and put you here because I don't see them in here yet. On TikTok, it's preferential to talk fast. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's like it just is the way I am. It's the way my brain works. I can't help it. My brain is moving fast, and so is my talking. Hannah, welcome in. So how do I send music to you? If you want to send in music, go to my profile, click on the link, and then just read through and follow all the details there. And then we'll get you up on the board. We got a handful of people on there right now. We're just about to get into our first songs. We'll dive into the music here in just a little bit. No, you're good. I mean, that makes it even worse. Kuda liar. That makes it even worse, right? Because there might be some things that you're having a little bit of a struggle trying to understand, and then I'm moving a million miles an hour. Most creatives who are good, their brains usually go really fast. That is one of the things where like I feel like because obviously there's medication. We're not going to talk about that too much, but there's things that you can do in order to slow things down and whatever. But I also kind of worry that would take some edge off of what I do for a living, what I do constantly, that I feel like really benefits me and allows me to have the job and do the work and the creative work and practical work that I do. So, I always have the issue that I've only a song, my own. You've only sung your own songs on YouTube, I'm assuming. It's almost 14 years ago, 15 years, but I never hear my song somewhere else. All right, so are you asking about like distribution, stuff like that? Is that kind of what you're talking about? Like you're wanting to get maybe you've already recorded some stuff, but you want to get it to all platforms. That's a distribution issue. Or if you're talking about like you've been singing covers, you've been like recording videos of you playing, singing and playing a piano or something like that, and you're wanting to like produce and actually send your music to DSPs. Let me know kind of what the core of your question or your issue is, and I'll try to address it how the best I can. 5 years, yeah. I guess I've been working out for a little bit. I'd love to hear your feedback. Organism, thank you so much for tapping in. I really appreciate you being here. Yeah, if anybody, I'm just waiting on a couple emails, but we're about to dive into the music. If you would like to submit, go to my profile, click on my profile. Geez, click on my profile and then click on the link and just read through and follow all the details. No, stop making music because my husband's ex-husband said you want your career, or do you want to? Thank you for the follow, or do you want a family? Yeah, I mean, you don't always have to choose. You don't always have to choose, but now I know you can't do both. But then it's too late. But on YouTube, it's a German song. I don't think it's too late. I honestly completely disagree with that. I don't think you have to choose. I don't think you have to choose. Yuan Mo, thank you for the follow. I don't think you have to choose. I think it just comes down to even very, very base level prioritization of the things that bring you the most life and fulfillment, right? As somebody who's worked many, even like when I first started doing it 14 years ago when I was starting to do music professionally, there's been many, many different times that I've had to like take other jobs and do other stuff and make sure that I'm doing other things to make money and make sure the bills are paid and stuff like that. But I've always had a couple clients in the background. I've always had a couple things moving in the background. Now I'm blessed to be able to do music and production and mixing and session work full time. But it's like there's been many, many different times where like, man, we're strapped. We gotta take on a couple other things. So I really think it just comes down to prioritizing. Yeah, no, I totally understand, and I know many, many people in your position. Many, many people. Yeah, I completely understand. I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not saying it's easy, but I do think that it can be worth it. I do think that it can be worth it. What genre do you like? I like and listen to a lot of different genres. I like the 80s. So I like synthwave, I like dark wave, I like vapor stuff. But I also like a lot of like alternative pop and alternative music. So it really depends on the mood that I'm in. The mood that I'm in determines the style of music I like to listen to. But I really like I like the 80s. So I like Depeche Mode, Tears for Fears, The Midnight Strike, Kavinsky, Time Cop 1983, Mike Dean, kind of in that realm. A lot of 80s stuff. That's a lot of the work that I do too. So I do a lot of synth tracking, like session work and stuff like that. I do a lot of like 80s synth pop, dream pop stuff too. So that just tends to be the world that I live in a little bit more. Marcy, I got you. You're ready to go. Hannah, I definitely can. You'd have to get in line with everybody else. Yeah, 90s, 80s best music. I love the 80s. I think 80s song structure to me is just really impressive. I think it's really, really impressive. So that to me, yeah, I love it. I love the Midnight. I almost got to see them. In fact, the post that I literally just did, Sting and Phil Collins, hell yeah. Organism, it depends on what midnight is for you. I'm only going to be on for like 2 hours. Not super long. It depends on what 2 hours is for you, based on where you are. Lucio, welcome in. I appreciate you being here. But yeah, I almost got a chance to see the Midnight, and then I almost got a chance to see the Strike. But actually, my most recent post, I literally just posted it like an hour ago, was me not recreating, but kind of producing in the style of like the Strike and the Midnight. So I do a lot of stuff like that. Literally, the last post that I did was like a synth track like that, where it's kind of in that same space. The Midnight are signed to Ultra. Used to be signed to Ultra. Oh, let's go. Organism, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Yeah, if anybody wants to submit, we're literally right about to hop into the music and get into some stuff. If you want to submit your music for a 30-minute or 20 to 30-minute multiple listen, deep dive consultation into the structure of your music, go to my profile, click on the link, just read through and follow the details there, and we'll get you up on the board, ready to go, along with Marcy, Retrack, Lava Baby, Marcel, Nova, Zach, Bobby, John, Gutter, Pixie, Bemmy, and Leo that I have on the board right now. Okay, Dima, welcome in. I appreciate you tapping in. Home I've heard. Comtrues, I don't think I've heard. I don't think that doesn't sound familiar to me. Night, thank you so much for tapping in. Yeah, I will be for sure, Organism. For sure. Let me see how many songs do you finish a week? 100% of my songs right now are for other artists, so it just depends on the project, right? I finished, I think, 3 projects last week, so I finished a production, mix, and master. So it was an all-in-one package that I did, an all-in-one production. It was all session work, production work, mix and master for a 10-artist collaborative structure. I've been working on that one for a couple months. It's kind of a chaotic track, but I worked on that one for a couple live. or a couple months. That one I just finished last week. I did some synth tracking last week, so some session work last week that I got all finished up and sent out. Finished a production for another artist and started a production for another artist all last week too. So as far as like sessions go, as far as like projects go, I'm probably starting or stopping a couple projects a week in and out. And then there's always a little bit of a backlog. Like Mark Heel, who is over on the Red app, I'm going to try to be finishing up his session. I've got a mix for him that will be hopefully finishing up this week, and all things willing, all things going right, I should be finishing up that session this week, ideally. Are we going to be listening live? Absolutely, Organism. Everything's live. All right, let's get into it. Once again, if you want to submit, go to my profile, click on the link. Absolutely. Is it Damar? Thank you so much for tapping in, man. Most people send in unreleased stuff. You can send in released, of course, but most people send in unreleased stuff because they want like a final stop, like one last ear before it gets sent to platforms or their engineer or mastering or whatever it may be. So yeah, really just depends on what you're looking for, but absolutely. Once again, if y'all want to submit, go to my profile, click on the link, and then just read through and follow all the details. Let me see. I'm getting Marcy's track downloaded right now. It's downloaded. We're ready to go. If you're on TikTok, I need y'all to tap the screen like crazy. Share out the live with a few people. Don't forget to send in your heartbeat for the day. It really does help out the live stream quite a bit. It's downloading. Give it just one moment. Give it just one moment. I need to clear some storage on here. It just keeps getting crazy. Keeps getting crazy on me. All right, here we go. This is Bubblegum by Marcy. Marcy, it is my first time hearing your music. So let me know. I want to know everything. I want to know structure. I want to know your role in creating your music. Is this a BeatStars lease? Is it a YouTube MP3? Did you produce it yourself? Are you working with a producer? Are you going to a studio, working with session musicians? Are you a rapper, singer? Like, talk to me a little bit about the structure. Are you self-engineering? Is it going to an engineer? Where are you at with this track? Talk to me about the details, and let's get into it. Mature's in the building. What's up, Mature? Welcome in, man. This is Bubblegum by Marcy right here in the chat. Let's get into it. Speaking of like kind of 80s sound design, I love it. Okay, I'm going to back it up. We're going to run it from Wrote Everything Yourself. Beautiful. Let's back it up. Let's back it up. Let's back it up. Thank you for the follow. Yeah. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Okay, nice, Marcy. How far are you into the song? Is this first pass at mix, or is this kind of a master for you? Let me know. Thank you for the follow, Costanza. Appreciate it. Indecisive. Thank you for the follow. Thank you for the follow, RZL. Finish hopefully first time trying. Okay, nice. Nice. I love it, man. Really cool sound. Yeah, they are. Good compression. It's like 25, 40 cents sharp too. Interesting. You hear that? It's like 50 cents sharp. The whole thing's been pitched up like 50 cents. 2% very sweet. Okay, that's it. Nice. I was gonna say it's like 50 cents hot, 50 cents sharp over the top. Because I was gonna play that like A major. It's like, oh, hold on. I like it. Y'all show some love. Yanni, if you want to check the line, go to my profile. The line is always up. If you want to check the line, if anybody wants to see the line order, minimums, anything like that, go to my profile and go to the red app or purple app, YT or T, starts with those. Just the other platforms that you watch streams and videos and stuff like that. We're live on those platforms as well. You can see the line always up on the screen over there. If you want to kind of see where everybody's at. Hear the song in the car, it was in Beer with Ice, 100%, 100%. I like that 2%. Obviously it makes it hard to like latch onto, right? Like once you have the various speed on there, you're doing like some like tape editing and stuff like that, manipulation of that signal, throughout the structure of the song. It makes it harder to like latch onto and play with and stuff like that. But the actual feel of the song is nice, right? Like the aesthetic of it, the movement of it, I think is really, really nice. Let's get into it. Let's run it from the top. Loofers in the middle. What's up, y'all? If y'all do want to submit, go to my profile, click on the link, just read through and follow all the details. We'll get you up on the board, ready to go. All right, you got to get in line with everyone else, though. We got a decent chunk of people over in the line right now, depending on who stays in here right now. Is it Furman? Thank you so much for the follow. I really appreciate it. All right, let's run this from the top. This is Bubblegum by Marcy. Let's dive in, man. I'm really excited. So I'm going to talk about a couple like really practical things, really specific practical things. That way we can tackle a couple things before like your final mix and stuff like that. I think your song structure is great. I feel like it's really, really well done. I just want to make sure everything feels cohesive. It feels like it's under the same umbrella. It feels like everything is really, really smooth and polished. Let's run it from the top. Bubblegum by Marcy. Let's get into it, man. But I like your style a lot. Hannah, if you want to submit, go to my profile, click on the link, and then read through and follow all of the details there. The vocal sounds too modern to me. Maybe I'll put a tape effect on the cassette tape effect. Yeah, I feel that. Maybe a little bit more saturation. If I have a track that has too much buzz hum, what do you think would be the best to reduce that noise? It depends on the source, Explore. If you have like again, the source to me matters the most, right? So if you are dealing with a preamp that's too hot, a high noise floor, a microphone, if you're dealing with RF interference, whatever it may be, like what's the source of it? Is the pickup on the guitar? Like I have a Stratocaster up here, and on that Stratocaster, depending on the pickup that I'm selecting, right, depending on the single coil I'm selecting, it's really, really buzzy. So I got to make room, a mic, and then from the room. So, there's a couple ways to mitigate it. One obviously would be your gain stage, and CCAN, thank you so much. Thank you for the share. Appreciate it. Would be to just, maintain, it's maybe a slightly lower level in your gain staging, try to reduce that. Also depends on your interface. If you're dealing with like an early stage, like a third generation or earlier Scarlett, stuff like that, those are going to be very, very high noise floor. Cheaper microphones, the early MXLs, AT2020, stuff like that. Those are also going to be a really high noise floor as well. If you've mitigated everything and you've dealt with noise, you've dealt with all the stuff as much as you can, you've turned off the AC, you've turned off the fans, you've, gain stage properly. My favorite plugin had an audio, but it just broke. Yeah, most, a lot of like those early, like lower end interfaces, they could have some pretty noisy preamps. So there's ways like, if there's other, interfaces and stuff that would be lower noise, but if you are dealing with it, no matter what, then a couple plugins. One, when you're tracking, NS1 is great for this. So NS1 has a built-in noise reducers from Waves. NS1, it's about $30, something like that. It has it's noise reduction and gating. Thank you, Hannah, for the heart me and for the finger hearts. I appreciate you a lot. Thank you for the follows as well. I appreciate it. NS1 is great because it does some noise reduction on one side and then also gates in between. So once it's reduced some of that buzz, it'll also gate it and cut the signal nice and smooth. If you need to be more surgical with it, what I personally use is called RX11 by Isotope. I think that's probably one of the best at it. I use that, nearly every single day. Now that's more expensive. NS1 is like $30, but the Isotope package is, I think it was like $200, something like that. It's got a little bit more to it. Okay, let's get back into this track. We got Marcy in the building. Let me answer a couple things. Let's see. I have another version where I put the whole song through a Tascam, which has a nice feel. Oh, okay, I like that. Maybe like pushing the tape pre's and stuff a little bit. The one I submitted is all digital, still undecided. Let me know if you want to send the other one as well. I got to answer some questions. Just wanted you to hear my track, ask for money for, hold on. I'm sorry. There's too many questions here. Yeah, if anybody wants to submit, go to my profile, click on the link, and then just read through and follow all the details there. Just wanted you to hear my track. Yeah, that's not what this live stream is. So you're just running into you want my live stream to be a different thing that you want. There's a ton, dude. There's like 200 people on TikTok that will just play your song. So if you just want someone to play your song, you just want a live music review, you just want like a quick thing like that. There's a ton of people that are great at that do really quick structures. The way that I operate this is as a paid consultation. This is a paid service. It's not a free review. I play your song for 5 minutes. I say get a better mix, bro, have better energy. You have a pretty dope sound, and then we move on. The structure of this is a 30-minute long form, multiple listen breakdown of the structure of your music. So if that's not what you're looking for, definitely, man, hang out for a bit if you want to. Hopefully you can get some value out of it because we're talking through a lot of detailed things that hopefully can help with some problems that you have as well. And if you're not interested, then yeah, 100% valid. 100% valid. There's no pressure to like what happens. I just think you're probably in the wrong spot if that's not what you're looking for. All right, let's yeah, these are long form. Every song that we listen to is like 30 minutes long, 30 minutes long. All right, let's let me get back into this track here really quick too. Let me see. Hold on. Hannah, yeah, we get like different languages, different genres and stuff here all the time. All the time. I would say maybe not every single live stream, but every other live stream, we're getting songs in different genres, different styles, different languages and stuff like that. Okay, let me get back into the structure of the song. So we got Marcy. I want to focus on Marcy's track here really quick, and then we'll dive into some other stuff, and I can try to answer a few more questions in between. Explorer of music, 100%, anytime, man. I appreciate the question. All right, let's dive in. Let's dive in. This is Marcy, and the song name is Bubblegum. So let's dive into it. Just guitar, I got you. I do like the crunch on the drums, though. You do have like some good saturation. It kind of reminds me of, I think it's Universal Audio that has some they're like tape saturators and stuff like that. The one that I forget what it's called. I use it all the time. I can't think of what it's called. But anyways, they have some really good ones too. It reminds me of that crunch. You have a nice like open distortion, nice harmonics at the top in there. I like that little bit of crunch in the background. I would love, you have the third note harmony at the top right there. That little pocket right there, I would love to open that up a little bit, just because it sits next to your vocal here. So the impact on that stab coming in, like the impact of that stack of vocals coming in, I feel like is less than it could be, because you have your lead vocal mono down the middle, obviously. And then you open that up, sounds like, 10, 15% to the right side right there. And so you have like a double harmony. So like the double and third harmony coming in on that right side. I would love to just maybe pan each of those to the outside to go like even like 15 to 20% to either side of that vocal to get a little boost of energy, right? A little knock of energy right there, as opposed to it being isolated to that side. I feel like it would make that vocal mix feel a little bit more vibrant, as opposed to it kind of being tucked in the back only on one side right there. I'm going to back it up just a little bit here. Yeah, something sweet. Like amaretto. Pour it over me. I never needed someone like I need you right now. There's a million different reasons how you're cutting me out. All of the sound design elements that you have, like I everything that I'm hearing here, I like, you know what I mean? Like there's so much about what you do that actually, it feels really, really well done. Great guitar tone. Like I said, the drums are nice and dead and crunchy and saturated. I like that a lot. There's a lot about what's going on here that I really enjoy, that I'm really enjoying listening to. One thing I'm aware of, and maybe we'll talk about it a little bit, I'm just kind of listening for it now, and this probably won't come through on TikTok just because the saturation, the cancellation, like the dual mono that it does, is kind of annoying, and it's the compression on there is a little bit annoying. It might not come through on TikTok, but it probably will on some of the other platforms. One of the other things that I'm hearing is some things that feel a little bit exaggerated in processing. So I'm hearing kind of two things in tandem. It sounds like, and you mentioned running it through the Tascam and stuff like that. I'm hearing sound design that sounds very like vintage and retro and colored in a way that I think is really, really nice. Like I said, saturated, it's warm, it's easy. And then processing that feels like ultra processed and wide and bright and over compressed and stuff like that. Hannah, thank you so much for the bouquet. And thank you so much for the slow. I appreciate it. Thank you for that. I appreciate your generosity. Melodyne will digitize as a beautiful 80s tune. You can do it incredibly transparently, incredibly transparently. So there's ways to do it. Thank you for the roses, Hannah. You can do it very, very transparently. And that would be my recommendation. I think the problem with Melodyne is that people blanket it. Oftentimes they select all, lock to key, and then just like correct everything and take out all of the natural modulation of the vocal. You could literally just take like one note, slide it into place, make sure that the format matches it and stuff like that. You can do it incredibly transparently. So that'd be my recommendation when it comes to stuff like that. It doesn't have to sound too digitized. In fact, you could lower like retune speed and actual modulation between notes to intentionally make it slide a little bit more so it doesn't feel too digital. There's a lot. I mean, if you have Melodyne, you can do some magic. Evans, thank you for the follow. You can do some magic with the vocal. If it doesn't feel transparent, then that's just a processing. That's just an actual thing you need to address a little bit more in the way that you're processing that vocal. So again, two things that I'm hearing. Marcy. And again, love the song. I love your structure. I think it's really well done, well performed. I'm hearing, again, a very like organic track structure and sound design that feels, again, like pretty warm and inviting to listen to. But then the processing on everything, the over-exaggerated panning and width on everything. Like those drums are like 100 left tom, 100 left right tom, all the way back and forth, hard pan here and there. Even like the structure of the guitar, it kind of sounds like there might be like a phase, like a widener on it that's kind of hollowing out the middle of the mix. So you have this guitar, this chorus guitar. Again, sounds beautiful. I love what you're doing with it. What the sound that I'm hearing, I really like, but then it sounds like something's kind of pushing it out of the way. So you have this kind of hollowness in the middle of the mix where it just doesn't feel grounded and powerful and really impactful. It feels like everything's kind of pushed way out to the outside. And so I would love to kind of bring this track back under control a little bit, maybe not exaggerate the panning so much on some of those other elements. So whether it's like the toms left and right, whether it's like the widening of the guitars, right? Artificial widening of the guitars beyond just like a chorus and something like that. And then same with, let me see, some of the vocal layers, right? Just bring them back so that it doesn't exaggerate just to one side, not over brighten everything. I would love to like warm this whole thing back up and just kind of bring it back under control. So that's a couple things that I'm hearing that I hopefully feel like would help just the structure of this. If there's like a general rule for like a song like this and a structure like this, most guitars are doubled hard left and right too. Okay, so you do have a double track. Hannah, thank you so much for the follows. I really appreciate you. That means a lot. I really appreciate your generosity. So I'm going to listen a little bit farther and maybe we can kind of just bring it back. In fact, let me do this real quick. I'm going to drop this in. I'm going to drop it into Pro Tools really quick. Just give me a sec. Give me a sec. Let's see if I can. All right, let's do this. I'm just going to look at a few things here. Of course, Marcy, anytime. Swag, welcome into the building. I appreciate you being here. And again, quick reminder, if anybody does want to submit for our consultation, go to my profile, click on the link, and just read through and follow all the details, and we'll get you up on the board. All right, here's your track. Here's your track in Pro Tools. And you can also see just like looking at this waveform here, you can see how like carved off that is too. Like it's pretty heavily limited it looks like too. So it's, again, this is probably the over digitized processing that I'm hearing, right? A lot of the things that we're talking about, you can see that this is clipped off, right? This is shaved off at the top and it's really strict. So you're losing a little bit of just the natural dynamics, and stuff like that. So don't over exaggerate, brightening, don't over exaggerate the processing too much, over exaggerate the width. It would be nice to just kind of bring this whole thing into a little bit more warmth. Okay. Oops, I got to solo this. Let me track a couple things. Thank you for the hand heart. And I appreciate you so much. Thank you.
See
Yeah, it sounds like I mean, you can even like see a lot of these like peaks that are popping up, right? Where you get a lot of stuff that I think probably just in its own tonal qualities are jumping out quite a bit. So there's a need to like over control on the master, and maybe some of your buses where you're getting a lot of over compression. You're getting like a lot of snap and crack and stuff like that. That to me feels like over control. Love a baby, welcome back in. I got you on the board already, man. And so I would love to just again warm up a little bit here because you can see some of the exaggerated like U-shaped curves where the far low, far top end can be a little bit over exaggerated. And again, I just want this to feel like warm and really inviting to listen to. The very 67 style of mixing, 100%. But I guess that's what I'm talking about. Mixed Afro right over here, over on TikTok. That's what I'm talking about. Is there's a lot of what's happening in the actual structure of the mix, which might not be coming across on TikTok too much, is some over exaggerated digital processing, like super widened, like double tracks, super like exaggerated widening on other structures of like the digital drums and stuff that are like 100% panned, and then some like digital widening that's happening, like Haas effect stuff. And I think that's what I'm talking about too. It's where like some of it doesn't feel as retro as the style would put forth. Some of the like guitar panning and movement I really like, but then there's other things that they feel more digital. They feel a little bit more exaggerated, and I would love to warm. Yeah. Is there clear phase issuing? I haven't checked them on. I just dropped it into Pro Tools for a second to look at some EQ curves. You can already see this like big, you see this like right here in the middle too. You can kind of see in the lower structure of this mix right here, right? This big U-shaped curve that kind of happens in your EQ where you have a lot of information here on this low side, right? A lot of information right here in the far low. Like this is probably like Pultec, style curves, right? Where the far low end 100, hertz with a curve, like a mid Q, 100 hertz and below is shelved really high. It sounds thick. It sounds really big. And then the top end is boosted at like 10, 12K on the Pultec. It's usually what happens with these natural curves, right? So the top end feels really cranked. It feels really open. And then the middle loses a little bit of that life because it hasn't been addressed, right? So that's a little bit of what I'm hearing. It just sounds like those curves, right? They're exaggerated on the far top and bottom. So if we bring that back under control, I'm going to bring back some of these low mids because that, again, you get this big U-shaped curve right here. So I'm actually going to soften some of these other elements. It's already saturated a little bit more. I'm going to soften some of these elements and bring back some of these low mids because that's where it empties out quite a bit. There's actually like pads in the background. I didn't even know were there. Like there's like, I'm hearing stuff, even just doing this. I mean, this is exaggerated. Never do this. Literally never do this. I'm just doing it for the sake of being able to hear some differences in the A and B. But like I'm hearing like pads and some stuff in the background that I didn't even know existed there in the mids just by in stereo opening up those low mids. It's a dramatic difference. Before. Those guitars are also like a little bit hot. I love the guitars. I love the tone of the guitars. I love what they're doing and where they're doing it. Love that so much. They do just come in a little bit hot compared to everything else. I just think they jump through the mix a little bit more resonant than I'd personally like because they slice through in a really beautiful way. But because they slice through in those high mids so directly, it feels really clean. But it's almost like too clean. I would just probably pull them back by like 2 or 3 dB because what happens is that vocal comes in and then my attention kind of gets pulled away. And I would love to just regain a little bit more of the balance so they do cut through, they do jump into the mix and you do hear them with clarity and separation in the rest of the mix, but they don't like distract from the other things that are going on just because they're so loud, right? So I'd probably pull back those guitars again. Love how they sound, love what they're doing. Seriously, really well done. Latitude, welcome in. but I would probably pull back on those guitars like 2 or 3 dB just to create a little bit of a better balance in the structure of the mix. But even like here, so I'm basically just undoing this like Pultec style curve, right? Where again, it's like boosted far low, boosted far high, emptied out in the mids, and I'm like rebalancing. Aiton, welcome in. Aiton, I appreciate you being here. Welcome over to the Red app. I rebalanced that a little bit. Let me get into the before. After. And what's crazy about that, to Tep's point right there, this feels more bassy and more open and more vibrant to me, where I'm really like, this curve is starting at, like 107, the most of the boost of this curve right here is starting at like 170, 175 hertz. I'm actually cutting low end by a dB and a half between like 30 and 80 hertz, right? All of this mids, I'm boosting like 400 hertz up to like 600, 700 hertz right there. I'm actually, what's up, Blue? Welcome in. I'm actually like reducing low end, but inflating some of those low mids and mids to where it brings those instruments and those drums and those guitars and your vocal layers kind of back to life. The difference to me is really keen. So I'm actually taking away low frequencies and inflating mids, and it actually sounds bigger. It actually sounds like there's a little bit more low end, because where the top end of this bass is sitting right here, where this top end of the bass is sitting at like 300, 400 hertz, that's where you're actually getting a lot of presence and a lot of openness today. So that's what I'm looking for right there.
There's a million different reasons that you're cutting me out, but I see it in your eyes the way you're looking tonight. Just lock this door and save my life. It tastes like
so much more life to it. Okay, let's switch back over here. What's up, Blue? We're working. Yeah, Q should be up. Q should be up for you, Aiton. Should be good to go. And Blue, same thing. Q should be up on the board. I need to update a few people. Okay, let me get out of this and we'll get back into just the main track over here really quick. Shout out to Marcy. This is a really cool track, man. Genuinely. It's a really, really cool track. Yeah, 100%. Now, again, like I said, I'm doing these curves on a master, right? And I would never do that. I'm undoing some curves on the master that probably happened on the master. I would address the bass instrument, the vocals themselves, the levels of those guitars, get all of this worked out as close to the source as possible. If you need a little bit more action from like the pick on the bass and stuff like that, work at like 4K, 5K hertz, open up the top end of that bass a little bit so you get a bit more presence in the mix in the mids. Like, try to get all of these addressed as early in the chain as possible so that you're not making corrective band-aid changes to your master, but you're fixing it if you can't go to the source, get it as close to the source as possible. Those early chains, because oftentimes what happens is that your next plugin just becomes a band-aid to mistakes made in previous plugins. So your chain ends up being, 6, 7 plugins, and they're really only there to fix things that happened before, as opposed to just, getting it right as much as possible in your like first 2 or 3 plugins, and then just having color changes and ambiance changes after that. Okay, let me exit out of Pro Tools here, and we'll get back into the other track, and we'll dive into some other details. But hopefully this is somewhat helpful. Let me get over here. Organism, you definitely can. Yeah, anybody can. Any genre, any quality. We have people in here that send in really, really rough songs that they're just starting out. We've had Grammy-winning producers and musicians in here. It's gonna be all the way across the board. Erexis, thank you for the follow. Blushwas, thank you for the follow. You're getting a little bit of sibilance resonance in there as well, right? So your S's and T's and things like that cut through a little bit, but I also think this is in tandem to you opening up high end a little bit more than probably you need to. Again, you're not competing with a ton of it. You don't have a wall of 7 synths you're competing against, or quad tracked metal guitars, right? Like you're not competing with a ton of this mix. I mean, currently you are just a little bit, just because those guitars cut through really sharp, but there's not a ton to compete with. So you don't really need to over brighten that much and over modernize the vocal. You can soften it a little bit, but if it still doesn't take care of the sibilance, again, those S's, T's, C's, K's sometimes can cut through, then be at a very, very tasteful de-esser, or if you already have a de-esser, just maybe adjust your frequency slightly to really target where you're getting a little bit more expression there, and then lower that threshold probably another couple dB so that you can create a little bit more control, not so much that you get a lisp. You don't want to take out your natural phrasing. You just want to control some of the abrasive frequencies that are slicing through the mix right there. So a couple little things, but I think a lot of what we're talking about is just like relaxing this mix. It feels very sharp, very bright, very low end boost, very compressed, which you can even see in the waveform like I showed earlier. And I would love to just soften this mix a little bit and allow it to be just a little bit more natural and a little warmer, a little easier to listen to. One of the tests that I made a whole video on this, but one of the tests that I talk about all the time is how loud can people listen to your music before it hurts? A great, phenomenal, like really, really well balanced mix. You can crank on any system, on your phone, on the TV soundbar, in the car, at the gym, wherever. You can crank it, and it takes a lot of energy for it to start to hurt. You know what I mean? A really bad abrasive mix, you just turn it up like a little bit and you're like, this already kind of hurts to listen to, especially if there's harsh sibilants and like a lot of low end energy in your plosive. Seth, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. So that's one of the tests that I would look at is like, how loud can I make this before I'm like, it's cool. I like my song, but it hurts a little bit, right? And that's where I would focus on dealing with some of those things that are a little bit over exaggerated. Because again, I really like the song. I really like your writing and your voice. I like the style. I think you're executing all of that and the musicianship side of it really, really well. It's like really, really well put together. It's a good song structure. Very catchy, very catchy. Let's just soften some of those other processing details there. If y'all would like to submit, go to my profile, click on the link, and just read through it and follow all the details there. We'll get you up on the board. Okay, let me move towards this last section here. Like even there, like thinking of like other, like 1975, The Strike, The Midnight, like kind of in that realm. Like even on like these guitars, I would love to have like a slap. Yes, I'm here, TikTok. Hold on, I got to do my puzzle. Got to do my daily puzzle on TikTok to let them know that I'm a human and I'm here. So good at that. Beautiful. Amazing. Okay, we're back. Bands like that, listen to the way they process guitars too. I would love like a nice tight like plate reverb on that guitar. It's very dry right now. Again, dry and then very pointy. It's like very transient, it cuts a lot. I would love to like a really tight plate, half second to a second plate reverb on there with just like a slap delay at the end right there. Like a really quick, what's up, Derek? Welcome in. Like a really quick movement right there. Right now it's really dry, so it leaves a lot of gaps in the production. So on some of these high strums, on the I would love a little slap and just a little bit of reverb so it's not so dead, because everything is like your vocal, the drums, the guitars, bass, everything's pretty dry. Sometimes that can work, but the more you build out production structure, the more pointy it's going to feel. So I think that if you're going to have a lot of instrumentation in there, it'll be helpful to glue them all together a little bit, and that's where just a little bit of like a room reverb, a little bit of like a short plate on that guitar, maybe even the background of the vocals can help kind of glue everything together without too much extra work. Of course, Marcy. Anytime. Got you, Derek. Got you. I appreciate you, man. Okay, so long, but I just wanted to stop by. I can't be on TikTok. Yeah. Hey, no worries at all, Blue. I'm so glad you're here. What's up, life? Good to see you, man. So glad to hear it. Thanks for stopping by, Blue, even if just for a little bit. There's a whole bunch of different ways there. A whole bunch of different ways there, Hannah. So there's, I can't say a lot of the platforms on here. I try not to. There's Ven on there, or you can just use card. You can use just whatever card you have and just pay directly there if you would like to. Otherwise, there's also just there's no pressure at all. Not in the structure that we have here. The way that we have this live stream in this structure is just what we do here. I'll do some other lives maybe in the future where we change the way that we talk about it. We change some different things, but right now I'm just doing this particular thing where we're doing 20 to 30 minute consultations, paid service right here in the live. And so I'm keeping it in that format. Maybe we'll do some other ones at different time, but right now I'm keeping it pretty strict to that. Okay, let me get into this. If you want to check the line is moving in all the time. So I don't want to say sometimes where the line is, just because sometimes by the time I say it, it's changed, and then I'm wrong about saying it, and then people get annoyed. So if you want to check the line, go to the Red app or Purple app, YT or T. You can find all of that on my profile at the link. We're live on those other platforms as well. That way you can always have it up on another tab and see the line over there. Keanu, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate that a lot. All right. There's so much I love about this, man. There's so much I love about it. I love even just like the tonic on the acoustic, right? Just, where'd my piano go? Hold on. There it is. I know it's 50 cents down or whatever. But I love a lot of the movement there too. Let me tell you something that you would want to keep in mind as well. I don't know if you are Varus speeding just like the master and the whole thing's moving, right? If you are, we mentioned Melodyne on a couple notes and stuff like that. If you are melodyning, just make sure that you do it not to the note that's registered on Melodyne, and that you do it according to the pitch of the song, because everything in the song is up by about 50 cents, 40, 50 cents, right? So the whole song is sharp because of the Varispeed. So make sure that if you do any pitch control at all, which you really don't have in your vocal, if you do any pitch control at all, make sure you do it to the record, to the track itself, or adjust the actual frequency profile in Melodyne or whatever plugin they're using to make sure that it's locked to the session, that you're not like tuning it and then it's like 50 cents below. It's going to sound nasty. It's going to sound really, really rough. It sounds rude. I don't mean it like that. Okay. If I know you don't mean it rude, Danny Banks, then I will do my best to answer it and not get offended at it. I don't typically get too offended at it. And that's like someone's just being an ass for no reason. Organism, it's just the other live platforms that we're on. So there's another platform where y'all watch YouTube videos and live streams on, that the initials are YT. We call it the Red app. YT, and that's where we're live streaming on that platform as well. We're also live streaming on the Purple app, which is their logo is purple, starts with a T. So we call it the Red and the Purple app because TikTok sometimes doesn't like even just saying other platforms and stuff like that. Sometimes they don't like you saying that. So we call it the Red and Purple app, YT and T. If you find those at my profile, you'll see what I'm talking about. Yeah. Is your profile pic a recreation of that one scene from Napoleon Dynamite? It is not. It is not a recreation from the one scene of Napoleon Dynamite. It is not glamour shots by Deb. It's Danny, it's not glamour shots by Deb. Hey, Hannah, thank you for the love you. I appreciate you so much. And for the slow motion. I really appreciate the love. It's up there right now. I can see. I have all of the different platforms up on a separate screen. Yeah, definitely. No, 100%. Yeah, it's up right now. It's up right now. So if you go to the Red app and you're watching the live stream, it's right there. It's up on the board. Okay. Aiton's in the building. Aiton, I got you. Okay, let me get you up here really quick. Yeah, because I can see it on my screen right here because I have the other platform up. And let's get into the outro of the song really quick. Love a Baby, I got you at the top right there. And then Aiton, I got you skipped as well. I appreciate you so much, man. Thank you for sending this in. I appreciate that. Dun, dun. It's just super catchy, man. You already kind of got it locked in my head. Yeah, Glamour Shots by Deb. That's a throwback, man. I haven't watched that movie in like a decade. I appreciate you, man. Y'all show some love, man. Show some love. That is Marcy right here in the chat. Marcy. Aiton, I don't think I have heard that. Y'all show some love to Marcy. Marcy, love and appreciate you, man. Really, really good instincts musically. Like, again, the structure feels there's a lot of like classic 70s and 80s stuff in there that I really, even like those guitar riffs, found like they remind me a lot of like 80s classic rock and stuff like that. Da, da, like I love it. It's really, really well done. So to me, it's all those little mixing details that combine to make one really cohesive, even, and very, very open song structure and production structure. But what you're doing creatively, I think, is absolutely brilliant. So y'all please show some love to Marcy right here in the chat. Let's keep it moving. Keep it moving. James, yes, this is a paid service. So these are not live music reviews. There's a ton of those out there, but these are not like quick live music reviews. These are 20 to 30 minute consultations. They're really long form breakdowns, 20 to 30 minutes, multiple times through your song or production, whatever it is that you do, to get into the details of your mix and master, production elements, sound design, lyric and song structure. That's the whole structure of what we do here. So it's not like a quick pay to play. It's not like a free line and a 5 skip or something like that. It is a long form consultation to dive into those details. And hopefully offer you some specific and actionable feedback. Okay, to your question for the copyright, just want to make sure it never gets taken away. So I guess, no, I got you. I'll respond after this. I had to get into some work today. So I'll respond whenever I hop off the string so I can get you pointed in the right direction. Because you can copyright with the state, and you can copyright in a couple different ways, even if you are not distributing to platforms. If I pay for your consultation in 6 minutes, are we gonna have? Yeah. I'm gonna be on for probably another hour to an hour and a half. But just always keep your eyes on the other line. Keep your eyes on the other line so you can see how many songs we have left. Because then you can literally see like, oh, I'm this far down, so I probably shouldn't send in, or I'll need to skip if you want to skip or whatever. That's up to you. There's no pressure. Okay, let's keep it going. Y'all show some love to Marcy one more time. We've got Aiton in the building. We got 18 in the building. Let's dive in. Let's dive in. Marcy, thank you so much for the follow. I really appreciate it. Once again, if anybody does want to submit for a consultation, there's never any pressure or any rush. Feel free to hang out, hopefully get some value in the chat, no matter if you are on the board or not. The way we structure is hopefully that everybody can be like, oh yeah, I have a really bright vocal too. So this is something I can take into my own song structure. Sounds like Hooters and we dance 100%. And 18, I got you. You should be on the board. Yeah, I see you at the top here. Looks like your time might be a bit stretched. What do you mean, organism? What you mean? What you mean? All right, we got 4 tracks left after this. All right, let's get into it. This is Aiton's track, Gooey Sticky Shit. That's the name of the track. I buckle up. I don't know what I'm about to be, what I'm about to hear, but Aiton, let me know. Please let me know what I'm about to hear. All right, let's get into it. For those of you who don't know, Aiton is a really talented producer. He's really well versed in his instrumental. So I'm excited to get in this. Oron, thank you so much for tapping in. If you pay it 5 times more, you don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. You can move faster if you want to. Well, you can go as organism. Just make sure you read through all the details because you can go faster if you want to. That's up to you. It's up to you how fast you go. You can take it slower and chill for a bit, or you could go a bit faster if you want to. I got like an hour and a half, so something like that. It just feels it just feels gooey to me. That's crazy. Okay, but yeah, make sure you read through all the detail, organism, because if you want to go faster, you can go faster, or if you want to send to the bottom, then it'll take a bit longer. All right, let's run it. Don, thank you for the follow. Appreciate you. Give me some details on this one, Aiton. What you're looking for. Hey. Slow jams. Got you here. Got you. Yeah. I thought I was missing something. It is smooth, man. It is smooth. That bass. Yeah. A little inflated on that low end, but it's beefy. I mean, it's nice. There's that like 7/8 to 8 right there. Smooth, man. Let's go. Let's go, Aiton. Yeah, show some love. That is Aiton right here in the chat. They're over on the Red app right now. Calm Capybara, thank you so much for tapping in. Y'all show some love to the family. I mean, this is smooth. It's really well structured. There's a couple little notes in there that I want to pay attention to as far as balancing a couple things. It's just a little bit inflated on the lower end. And the reason why that matters a lot to me is this is really vibey. Hannah, it's grooving. It's grooving. It's super vibey. It's really well done. And so I don't want, excuse me, I don't want to take away any clarity that you have, any separation that you have. If you overinflate that low end, or the bass is too high, or that low end 200, 300 hertz below is too inflated, you're going to lose separation, right? It's just going to kind of fill out the whole mix, and you're going to lose a lot of like the pluck and the movement and the punch, right? I would love to regain a little bit of that clarity and separation, because the bass lines are really cool. They're really interesting. Your movement on your synths, I think, is fantastic. And then there's a lot of really nice lead lines in there as well. But if you overinflate, you're going to lose some of that separation. So a quick like gut reaction to it is I love the vibe. I love the aesthetic and the whole mood of this track. It is, like you said, it's gluey, it's sticky, it's really, really well done. So I just don't want to lose. I don't want to lose any clarity. Let's run it from the top. Let's get into some details here. But that is gooey sticky shit, which is just a placeholder name of the beat right now. If you like stuff like this, then definitely make sure that y'all tap in with 18. They're over on the Red app right now, YT. So if you want to tap in with them, tap it over there. Billy, thanks for tapping in. Is it Guatama? Thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. Do you like electronic music? Absolutely. We always get some really cool producers here in that space as well. Benja, thanks for tapping in. If y'all do want to submit, go to my profile, click on the link, and just read through and follow the details there. We'll get you up on the board. All right, let's run this from the top, and let's dive in. I really do like that 7/8 movement, especially when you switch to full 7/8 with the percussion in the last half of the track right there. Billy, thank you for the follow. You move to a 7/8 time signature in that last half right there, where the drums do match the guitar rhythm in 7/8. That time signature change is really groovy. It really moves well. So props on that. Let's watch a couple little MIDI notes in the background here, and a couple little mix details. But yeah, you're a beast, man. Really, really cool structure. Let's see if it's only he's like, hey, we might sell it as is. I'm a producer, and I would try. I'm going to submit something to you in a couple days. Sounds good, Billy. 100%, man. There's never any pressure, never any rush. We're here nearly every day. I do these live streams after I finish my like project work for the day, my session work for the day. So like today was a little bit later. I'm only on for a couple hours. Tomorrow I'll probably be on a little bit longer, potentially. So yeah, I'll keep updated. I'll probably be on tomorrow afternoon, maybe a little bit this weekend. We'll just see. We'll just kind of see what my workload is. Okay, let's dive in. I like this feel. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. I mean, I love it. That low movement right there is beautiful. It's really, really well done. Just again, watch some of the inflation. Sai, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Just watch that low end inflation so it doesn't get too muddy, because I don't want to lose any of the plucks. I don't want to lose any of the stereo imaging to a swell and low end information. Marcel, welcome in. I think I still have you up here, Marcel. Yes, I do. Oops. What the hell? All right, there we go. And also, I went to Metalworks Private Institute in Canada. Let's go. Is it Black Veil Brides? Am I saying that correctly? Thank you so much for tapping in. I appreciate you joining the stream. Welcome in. Obsidian, welcome in as well. Marcel, let me know if you got a little bit of time. Right in here. So this is where a little bit, everything's so smooth and has great movement. Then you match like melody in these last little sevenths at the top right here. Dun. That little high melody. Dun, 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 dun. Extra movement here at the top. That little movement right there, you get a lot of tension between the lead melodies there and the bass line when you match the bass line to that melody. There's a couple notes that are giving you some... You're getting some seconds in there that are really dissonant. There's a lot of, again, some tension's good. It's jazzy, right? You know, it's all that stuff. But there's some really, really dissonant texture there that just feels a little nasty that to me takes me out of smooth and groovy. Smooth. You know what I mean? It takes me out of that for a second and my brain goes, oh. It gives me a little bit of like a second glance for a second there. So I would smooth some of that out, and we can talk about like which MIDI notes to actually reprogram there as we back it up here. So give me a second. Because everything's in right, all these like extra melodies down here. The whole thing's based off the E minor right there. It's hard to get the cycle to work. And how are you programming that bass? Is that printed, or are you in MIDI? Obviously that determines the amount of control that you have over changing some of those melodies there. Dun dun dun. Bass is MIDI. Okay, perfect. So you do have some control. So. So yeah, you have this nice, you do have like a D sharp diminished kind of over the E minor. That movement's great. Like that, the diminished right there. I mean, that gives you a lot of weight. It gives you a lot of texture. It's expanded on the Rhodes. Beautiful little Rhodes at the top there too. I like that a lot. I think what I'm hearing is, yeah, this is exactly what I'm hearing. So your bass line is still here, right? It's still right in there over the E minor. The bass keeps going on the E minor while the Rhodes and I think one other element in the background moves to the D sharp diminished, right? So you have this, the melody changes slightly to reflect the F, right? And you have this kind of like expanded D sharp, yeah, the E minor to F. Is that where the Rhodes? Okay, so yeah, that's where some of that extra. So so that's the issue. So it's the opposite direction from like the D sharp diminished right here. Dun, 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 dun. So you have the F going over the top part right there. Yeah, the D sharp diminished. I mean, I do like the way the D sharp diminished sounds. It's just the opposite semitone. So the F over the top. So same idea where you have a second to all of those notes. It's a second to all of those notes. So you have the E minor playing on the bass line right here at the same time as all of these other notes, right? At the same time as the F on the Rhodes right there. Those are both hitting at the same time. That's where all of your attention's coming from. So what I would do is just make sure that the bass line moves up a semitone too, or something similar, moves to the major right there. You have dun, 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 dun. And you can even do a little D sharp in there to give you the kind of the minor push. But you definitely need to make sure. What's up, D Busy? Welcome in, man. Avis, thank you for the rose. I appreciate that a lot. Hannah, thank you for the gold box and for the friendship. I appreciate you a lot. Thank you for the love. So moving from that F, the E minor to the F, I would just make sure the bass matches that F on your low line, on that low line. Otherwise, if you have your chords moving to the F, well, the bass is still doing the E. So you still have, the F from the F sharp, but I would just make sure that your roots are the same. Joshua, if you want to submit, go to my profile, click on the link, and then just read through and follow the steps there. Thank you for the follow as well. So yeah, you moved it. You have the nice dun, 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 dun. The bass line moves, but you still have like the root over the E minor, right? No, Tap. Not at all. Da, da, da. Check out with the guitar line. So you hear how that dun 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 dun. Your root is still stuck on that E, and because it's stuck on the E, well, there's other elements that are hitting the F right there. That's where all of the tension is coming from. So what I would just do is, if you're gonna do dun 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 dun, you might want to go back to that F, right? You know, dun 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 dun. You know what I mean? Right there. Finish on the F as opposed to the E. And then F. Just dun 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 dun. And I keep that structure right in there because I think what's happening is it's the root that's throwing you off. That's where all the tension is. Because it's really just the bass. All the other elements kind of move together. Like you said, the guitar, the Rhodes moves up to the F right there. And that all seems really seamless. In the background, that's where you're getting all the tension, is just the bass, because it's resolving right there. Dun, 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 dun. That's happening, and that's a lot of tension. All right, let's move a little bit deeper to it. I hear that a couple times, and I think it also is amplified by the fact that the bass is so loud, right? So like we already talked about, that bass is a little inflated. It's a little heavy. I want it to feel a little bit more, cohesive with the rest of the production structure. And then in tandem to that one note, it's those two hitting together. When those two hit together, that's where you're getting a lot of tension. Organism, the same place that you submitted. And let me see. Let me see. Some things aren't refreshing for me. So I'm sorry if I'm not getting notified. Just definitely double check with me. Okay, I'm assuming that's you. So let me get you up there. Yeah, same place, just at the top of that. There's organism. Read through all the details there. Read through all the details there because the submission email's right there at the top as well. Okay, let me get you up here. Organism. Oy. Yeah, it is. It's super clear. It's just right there at the top. It tells you exactly where to send it. The email's right there, and you can just copy it over. Okay, let me get you. Boom, right there. Boom. Gotta get these in order. Okay, let's get back into it. Let's move a little deeper into it. Those two things to me are should be your priority, right? Levels of bass and then matching root notes so that it sounds really, really clean and clear across the board. Okay, let's back it up a little bit here. Where'd the email go? I mean, I love your lead melodies. There's so much 8/10 that you're doing that sounds absolutely beautiful. It's really, really well structured. What's up, David? Welcome in. Same, again, watch some of the movements to the F major there, right? And there's the movement to the up to F, because as you're going through that process and moving back and forth between those different elements, just watch some of those root notes, right? Even in your dun 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 dun, there's like a left little pluck you have on the left side right there. Just as you revisit this record, again, most of your sound design and you're moving here, I love really, really nice bass lines, really great structure. There's stuff on the left side there that every once in a while, again, when you move to the F, you just need to make sure that your progressions move together. Bass line, root notes, move with the Rhodes. Same thing that's kind of happening in the background with that pluck on the left side. Make sure at least, like, even if most of the melody stays the same, making sure that some of the root notes that are attached to it, at the very least, follow some of the root notes of the F, as you move up the scale there. A couple little details like that. But most of your like sound design, the feel of this, the vibe of this, I think it's fantastic. I think it's really good. It's super, super, super vibey. Like right there, like. You're hitting the F sharp on that lead melody while the rest of the chords are still on the F, right? So you hear that. And unless everything's gonna kind of match that and everything like moves to like an F sharp diminished or something right there to kind of pull it all in. If you're gonna hit that, just make sure that it all moves together, right? So you might want that last note, dun, dun, dun. You might want to go to the F right there and then go back into the next groove again. So really the biggest thing to me is just balancing and then going back through those melodies that you have, those plucks that you have, and make sure that you are doing the F sharp or the F really intentionally depending on where you are in your progressions. If you get just that down, that and rebalancing your bass, that alone to me like fixes this whole thing. It's such a great record, man. It's such a great feel and vibe to the production structure here. I love the 7/8 movement over 4/4 on the most of the structure that you have underneath it. Beautifully, beautifully done. I like that a lot. Let's get a little deeper into it here. I love the tension. Again, there's a lot of tension here that's good. A lot of tension here that's good that I really, really like. So my goal is not to like sterilize this, right? I still want it to have tension. I want it to have some tension in the background. I just don't want it to be tension that sounds bad. I like the drums a lot too. I'll let you know, Organism. I have you on the board. I have your credit. I haven't seen the email yet, though. Same thing here. Like, again, great move. I love the movement of the 7/8. One of my favorite parts of the song here. John, welcome in. The movement on that 7 to dun 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 dun. That 7/8 movement right there, so well done. It's really, really tasteful. bass is a little overinflated. So when you start reaching dun, 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 and you're hitting these higher G to the F sharps, when you hear the bass move up to that higher register, you get that little bit of that inflation in the mix, and that frequency just resonates a little bit more. So that's where, again, we can tuck a little bit. You can be kind of you might even want like an EQ around wherever that is, around 400, 500 hertz, if that's where a little bit of that boxiness is coming from, to like control for when you move up the scale, and it gets into a space where those frequencies are a little bit more resonant in a way that maybe doesn't benefit the mix too much. You can rebalance it, right? You can have it like tuck in right there, because you'll hear like that bass. You'll hear the boom, 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 ba-da-da. Those high moves right there. That's where you're getting a little bit more mud, a little bit more boominess right there. So a little bit of control, a little bit of frequency carving and balancing. You're going to be ready to go, man. You're going to be ready to go. It's really cool. I mean, probably one of my favorite productions I've heard from you. It's like really interesting. It's funky. I like it. Nora, thank you for the follow. Super cool, man. Are you trying to get a vocalist on this one too? Love those rolls going into the snare too. Super vibey, man. Super vibey. It's gooey. I like it. I like it. I like it. Beautiful, beautiful. I can hear it. That's also a good thing to know, Aiton, just because you have an interesting progression here that's moving in and out of scale, right? So like you have an E minor, which is not like as typical, right? Where you have some F sharps to F. So you have an accidental in there, being that F, right? Where you're combining two different scalings in there. So getting in a vocal in here is going to be more important than ever, that vocal is locked into scale and actually tuned to a place, or not, depending on how you structure it, tuned to a place where it's all connected. It's all really cohesive. If the bass line that's like determining the scale that you're in, the progression that you're in, feels loose at all, or it's inconsistent with the chords, it's going to be whatever the vocal does right there. It's going to sound bad. Because if the vocal does the F sharp, but the bass is doing the F, that's going to sound really, really nasty, because you're going to have that happening at the same time, or vice versa. If the vocal does the F right here, but all of the Rhodes is doing an F sharp or whatever it may be, it's going to have so much tension to it. It's going to sound really nasty. So just if you fix that one little MIDI shift right there between your plucks on the left and your bass line, and get everything really smooth and clean, you're going to be in a great spot. Send you a couple stems and ask questions. I guess it depends on the amount of depth, because that's like a longer. That's a bit more in depth than like what I would do on here, probably. Not now, but later. Yeah, you could. I don't know how quickly I'll be able, because I try to compartmentalize a lot, because I'm working on music constantly throughout the day, and then I do the live stream for 3-4 hours usually. And so I try to compartmentalize, where when I get off, I actually let my brain be off. So I just can't guarantee like it's going to be fast. I'll get to it right after the live or something like that. So if you want to send them in and then ask the questions. And then in my own time, I'll respond by email to just kind of see what I'm hearing. If you have some questions like that, I can do that, but it won't be super snappy. It won't be super fast, but I'm willing to do that as well. But y'all show some love to Aiton. Show some love. Yeah, I just can't. I try. I'm not very good at this, but I try to turn on and off the business. I try to turn the music on and off. Otherwise, my ears go crazy, because I'll be working on music, 6-7 hours a day, sometimes more. Get on stream for 2-3 hours, get off, and then I'm getting more files, or I'm hearing more stuff. And so I just have to compartmentalize a little bit. But if you're not like rushed on, like it's got to be tonight or something like that, I'll give it a listen. Y'all show some up to Aiton. Aiton, I love what you do, man. Your music is incredibly well structured. It's vibey. It's interesting. It's weird and funky and quirky, and I love that. You're a really talented musician and producer, man. So you should be proud of the work that you're putting in. Y'all show some love to Aiton. They're over on the Red app right now. Let's get it going. Let's keep it going. We've got some family here. Love a baby. Hop in the chat. Hop in the chat. Yeah, if anybody of y'all, any one of y'all do want to submit your music, you absolutely can. The line is still up and moving. You can go to my profile, click on the link, and then just read through it and follow all of the details there. I do need to update a couple things because I do have a pretty full line right now. So I need to update the minimum. So I do encourage all of y'all, I say this in the submission form as well, but I do encourage y'all to keep an eye out on the line. You can find the line at the red app or purple app, white tee. Use your imagination. You can find those other apps that we're live on at my profile and at that same link as well. Of course, A10, anytime, man. I appreciate you. So if you want to submit, you can. Just keep your eye on those minimums over there. Just so I try to not let people submit too low when I know I don't have time to get to them as much as I can to mitigate having to save too many people, even though it inevitably does happen. In fact, love a baby who's in here right now is about to get heard from the other day. So let's get into it. But if y'all do want to submit, you can. Just go to my profile, click on the link, and then read through and follow the details. Got you, Derek. Derek, I'm gonna run. You're still gonna skip the next one. I have to run Love a Baby first because I already have them pulled up from the other day. And I already had them because they were about to get heard. So I'm going to play his first, and then you're still going to skip the other 20 in there too to make sure you still go forward. Yeah, I just got that, but I already had. They were from like a week ago, and then I already have them hold up and just told them that they were next. And I don't want to like tell someone and then jump. All right, let me get this adjusted real quick. So you're still going to move forward a spot here. I appreciate you, man. I hate it's just like so annoying when I'm like, hey, you're up, and then out. Okay. 1 second. I need to respond to a message here really quick. Give me 2 seconds, and then we'll get this moving. Just one moment here. Let me see. Let me double check a few things, y'all. Give me 1 second. Sorry, I just got to shoot out this. Okay, and I had Love a Baby. I had everything pulled up. Where'd you send the email? I just had everything pulled up. I had your credit pulled up and moved earlier. I had everything pulled up. Did you send the email? I swear I just had everything right here. Love a Baby. Send it to the email. Is it a different name? Because I literally had it pulled up, but now the search isn't working. Was it under a different name? Boom, boom, boom. I literally just had it. Hold up. AH, right? AH, right? SoundCloud? We still don't trust you? Sorry, it's stuck in my head. Is that the right one? The remix? No, it's not. No, it's not that one. What the hell? What's going on? I had the credit email pulled up. Hold on. Sorry, I thought it was Derek. I thought I was going faster here. I just had it pulled up. Or if you want to like forward it, you could go to the email and forward it so it'll jump to the top. Dun, 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 dun. Let me know. Let me know. Let me know. You're sending it to track talk submission at Gmail. You're sending it to the one at my current link. Track talk submission at Gmail. Okay. Yeah, because I'm not. Let me give it a second. Let me give it a second, and then because I was like, I just had. I'm confused. I don't know what's going on. Dun, 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 dun. Soda, welcome in. Appreciate you being here. There it is. There it is. Okay, yeah. That was like the last one that was updated was before. Okay, yeah. I got it. All right. This is Lava right here in the chat. This is Lava Boy and Southside. Oh, there's two eyes. Southside Kari. Let's get into it. Let's get it saved. Yeah, walk me through it, man. Talk to me about the structure of the song. It's been a while since I've heard your music. I was like, man, I literally just had everything pulled up. It's been a while since I've heard your music, man. So talk me through the details. Let me know what's going on as far as the structure of this production, this mix, what your role is in the track. Update me on a few things, and let's get into it, man.
Driving down the interstate, shawty looking good, she looking like a dinner plate. Jolly low when I'm on the way. No matter where we go, every day is a holiday. I understand you have relationship goals, and your last one was bullshit. I know how shit goes. Stick with me, we roll out it, two-door reclining, and we can ride all night. Let's talk about I see that the stars in the moonlight shine brighter when I'm with you. A crushing on you.
Are you self-producing, self-engineering? Let me know.
I know that your heart's been all torn up in two. I meant it for you. You're fucking with a real one. She ain't never
What's up, AJ?
real love. Watch that heart heal up as I put the work in. Girl, you know you been hurting. I know when you're missing, baby. Every time
Okay, cool. Are they mixing it too?
Like my heart beating, baby. Maybe this is real love. Maybe this is real love. So ride with me, baby. I see that the stars in the
Okay, cool.
moonlight shine brighter when I'm with you. A crushing on you. Oh, baby, I know that your heart's been all torn up in two. I meant it for you.
So ride with me, need a real one. Blow cuss till we feel some. Black 23, but that's to kill some. Let a nigga play with you, baby. The game come. Let a nigga act out of pocket, get rained on. I know that you hate thugs, but I ain't tryna be a gangster. Tryna run it up without a pay stub. We can leave them haters behind
It's
like
vibey,
a
man.
track star. We do the race, no take it like a NASCAR. You know that
I see that the stars in the moonlight shine brighter when I'm with you. A crushing on you. Oh, baby, I know that your heart.
Any genre. Any genre. I'll listen to a ton of different stuff and work on a ton of different stuff too.
So ride with me, baby. I see
Love the high octave.
in the moonlight shine brighter when I'm with you. A crushing on you. Oh, baby, I know that your heart's been all torn up in two. I meant it for you. So ride with me, baby.
Go to my profile, click on the link, and just read through and follow the details. Just check the line on YT, the red app where you watch videos. Check the line on the live stream over there that we can see the minimums. Y'all show some love because we're getting towards the tail end here. Show some love. It's a Love a Baby in here, but I think the artist's name is Love a Boy. That's what I have at least in the file over here. So y'all show some love. Let's run it from the top. Let's get into some details, man. Yeah, I mean it's vibey, it's chill. There's a lot that I like about that. I want to talk about like vocal production, vocal mix. That to me is like the biggest factor to this, to me feeling more professional and feeling a little bit more polished. The beat itself it's got some knock to it. There's a little bit oversaturation on the 808s. It feels heavy. I think it's doing a lot of what you want it to do. So I think that's fantastic. But on the vocal mix side, there's some consistency and some polish I would love to see that to me is going to take this from feeling like a good amateur song to something that's, that's ready to go, that's radio ready, that feels like it's viable commercially. That's what I'm looking for, right? Because the structure of this is pretty good. You do have a catchy hook. It's repetitive. You have good structure, stuff like that. So let's dive into it. This is Love a Boy. It's called I Know. Let's dive into the details, man. Let's dive into the details. And then just so y'all know, I got 3 songs left. Currently, there's Derek Marcel and Organism. That's who I have left on the board right now. Anyone can skip, anyone can move. I only have time for 3 more, so if you do want to submit, just make sure you check the line over on the red app, YT. If you want to submit, just go to my profile, click on the link, and read through and follow the details there. But we are getting into the last 3 songs of the night. All right, let's dive in. I would definitely introduce yourself as an artist early on. There's people listen to so much music. I mean, now with AI, especially on platforms, there's like 5 million songs a week going to platforms. It's insane. It's like a ridiculous amount of music. There's like so much music that is being released. People got to know that you're there. So if they just hear a random instrumental, they just hear like a random thing in the background, it just doesn't grab you. It doesn't do anything for you. So especially when you're unknown and not a lot of people are familiar with your sound, your voice, your music, your charisma, your attitude, stuff like that, introduce yourself early on. So, say something, do the hook again in the intro, filter and sample your vocal in the background and throw it in there. Say, yeah, take a deep breath. You know what I mean? Like do something, just let people know that you're there. There's a lot of instrumentals out there. There's a lot of random music. Let them know that you're there. It's going to optimize your streaming as well. It's going to make sure that you reach your thresholds for streams. You get paid more. You get more actual numbers that you're seeing because it doesn't count as a stream if you're not streamed for at least 30 seconds. So just make sure that you're locked in. Okay. Like I would personally it's like a chorus singing. Okay, beautiful. Love it. I would almost let me hear where the verse comes in. I'll throw you an idea. These are stylistic choices. So if you want to ignore this, please ignore it. I don't want you to do anything that doesn't feel authentic to you. I'm going to throw you some ideas that I think would just tighten this up. It'll just make it feel a little bit more locked in. Yeah. If your song for most major DSPs, their threshold is 30 seconds. So I say this all the time. You could have 1 million people stream your song for 27 seconds, and you'll see 0 streams. You'll see 0 pennies from it. It has to pass the 30-second threshold in order for it to count as a stream, at least on most of the major DSPs. I think it's like Spotify, Apple, YouTube, maybe Amazon. But that's kind of the priority, right? So you got to get people's attention. With the before it has to be rap music. Can't do that. Yeah, with R&B, it's just there's too much of it, man. It's like this could just as well be, and I don't mean this in a negative way at all, but this could just as well be like the intro to a YouTube video. Like there's a lot of that guitar melodic rap beats and melodic R&B like beats and stuff like that, right? So introduce yourself early. In my personal opinion, I don't think you need to go to the filtered vocal. You're taking the energy back in this first pocket of the song. So you have an intro that's fine. It's just the beat, right? And then you filter way, way, way down and you actually lose some steam and lose some energy. And you haven't gained that much yet, right? You haven't actually like built up any steam or any like notoriety and even showcased what you're doing yet. What I would probably do, cut the filtered part because it doesn't really do anything for the song. This is, again, just my opinion. Throwing it out there. Get your wheels spinning. I would cut the filtered part. I think it actually loses you energy and you can't really afford to start there. What I would do is one of 2 things. I would either just start here. This is the start of the song right here. Boom. Boom. This is how you start right there. 2, 3, 4, verse. Boom. That's it. Start right there at the filter and go in, or cut the filter completely, sample that vocal there. All I really want, and put it over the intro. So you would have a filtered vocal singing. Really want us to be happy. dun, dun. Yeah, verse, boom, no filter, right? So I think to me, that's like your two options. Two options right there. Either cut filter completely and move your vocal, either just an open hook to start the song, no filter, move that vocal to the intro of the song, and then go straight into your verse. The song is sharp, it's concise, it's melodic, it's right where you want it to be. You're cutting some of the fat out of it, right? You're getting rid of some of the kind of the extra noise right there. Make it super sharp and punchy, and or you start at the filter, which I think is a pretty good idea too. Start at the filter and introduce straight from there. Cut the first intro of the beat. It's not really that valuable. There's no information there. There's no vocal there. Just fade really quickly and then start right there. Cut the vocal and then start with your filter. Go straight into the verse from there. Again, sharp, punchy, concise. You're not leaving any room for people to be bored and not have new information. You're keeping things like really engaging. So a couple options there, but I would optimize this, right? Otherwise, you'll put all this effort into the song and it just won't get the traction that you want to unless you force feed it to people, because people will check out, right? If you just start, I've heard this, especially because I'm hearing like the producer mark in the in the intro there too. Like this, there's nothing specifically like creative and lovaboy about this, right? There's nothing that's you here, right? Unless you start like saying something, right? You can start talking here. You can start doing something, right? But then I would still cut the filter, right? Either way, optimize this intro. Not so it's robotic, but so you actually get out of this what you're trying to get out of it. Okay, let's move into the song itself. There's a couple little vocal processing things I want to get into.
Shawty looking good, she looking like a dinner plate. Jolly low when I'm on the way. No matter where we go, every day is a holiday. I understand you have relationship goals, and your last one was bullshit. I know how shit goes. Stick with me, we roll out it. Two-door recliner, and we can ride all night. Let's talk about icy.
Okay, so last little detail here. I think only like two. Again, the beat is like mixed fine. You know, it's heavy, it's punchy, saturated. I like it. Most of the rest of this, I think, is good. Right, you have some good writing in here, some good flow, good cadence. It feels really smooth. It feels really easy. 100% Tep. I agree, and Marcel, I agree too. There's a couple other things in here. One is the producer that you're working with. I would highly, highly recommend that they manually tune your vocals before they auto-tune. The reason why is because without the auto-tune, your dry vocal is halfway between a couple notes. And when it's halfway between those notes, what's up, Jenna? Welcome in. When it's halfway between those notes, it will pick and choose, right? If you're, in this case, it's in B minor, right? So the song's in B minor. And since it's in the key of B minor, if you're halfway between a couple notes, it will choose to auto-tune between them. So you'll hear, instead of da, 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 instead of hearing like those notes there, you're gonna hear da, 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 da. Yeah, you're gonna hear these like little notches, right? And this modulations in your vocal that are, because you're halfway between a note, like these are the two notes right here. It's trying to choose between them and you're hitting right here. So it's like going up and down to try to like lock into that note. But if you just manually place it, if your intended note's here and you just manually place it right there, when you auto-tune it, you will actually give it this really, really like tight, smooth, easy listen, which is, I'm assuming, what you're looking for, especially in this style. Hannah, welcome over to the Purple app. The second I like it more, but it's not a master. Okay, Hannah, now if you're wanting to submit, type ! submit right there in the chat. So you'll hear here going into the hook.
Go stick with me, we roll out it. Two-door recliner, and we can ride all night. Let's talk about icy. That the stars in the moonlight shine brighter when I'm with you.
You're kind of that, I'm with you. Jordan, that's on the Purple app. Over here, just go to my profile, click on the link, you'll see the details there. You'll hear a couple times in here where you find that modulation between notes. I would just, da, dun, dun, like just target those notes manually. And then when you auto-tune, you're using auto-tune for the effect more than you're using auto-tune to correct the vocal. Melodyne is how I use this. There's, depending on the DAW, depending on what you have or the producer has, there's other ones you can use. Antares Pro, you can use some other plugins to use that. I personally have used, Melodyne for like 18 years. So that's my tool of choice for stuff like that. But I'll typically always manually correct what's needed, right? Not every note has to do that, right? But what's needed, I'll manually place it exactly where it needs to go. Follow that with auto-tune so that you are correcting an already perfected vocal. The vocal's already smooth. You're hitting every note that you want to makes it more concise. It's more like legible. So where when me as a consumer, as an audience is listening to the song, I know what notes to sing with you. If the notes are moving around a little bit too much and they're not really clear, like you do a low run, da 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 da, like what those notes are, what notes do I sing when you're doing that run, right? If those notes are kind of all over the place during that run at the bottom right there, then I, as a consumer, don't even know like what to sing with you. So you want it to be really distinct, da 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 da. Like you want that to be locked in as far as the tuning structure goes. So manual tuning would be the way to do that. Melodyne, I think, is the best at it. So get that manually placed and then follow with the amount of auto tune that you want. So then you get the effect of the auto tune kind of working itself out right there. That is going to make it really sharp and really clean.
A crushing on you. Oh, baby, baby, I know that your heart's been all torn up in two. I meant it for you. You're fucking with a real one. She ain't never had real love. Watch that heart heal up as I put the word.
Like right there. Oh, you hear the little warbling right there, a little bit of the modulation right there. Again, same thing. I just want to hear. I don't want to real love. Like I just want to hear those like notes really clean, right? If that happens immediately, this goes from sounding good and cool and vibey, but kind of amateur, to like polished and a little bit more professional. Like literally, like Melodyne alone could take so many like amateur, like non-professional artists to sounding so much more polished. Just right there. It can be abused like any plugin, right? It can be abused a little bit. But I think especially in the R&B space, especially in like the melodic rap space, it completely changes it. One of like the first tells of like a more amateur mix, especially in like R&B and melodic rap and stuff like that, and you know, pop and stuff like that. Hold on. What do you mean you can't hear me on the Red app? Is it not coming? Is there no audio? Or what do you mean? There should be audio. I see audio. Hold on. Let me see. I want to check. I want to make sure. I don't do with you. It's catchy, man. It's very catchy. Maybe just. Let me see. I appreciate you, Hannah. Let me see. Oh yeah. Let me see. Oh yeah, it's coming through. Yeah. It's coming through. Yeah. It just Oh, you're totally good. You might just need to turn up like because each platform has its own volume. So like on YouTube, you might need to just turn up the volume on YouTube or something like that, just to double check. Anyways, okay. Hopefully all that makes sense. Yeah. Because sometimes like you'll go to Twitch, you'll go to YouTube, and they'll have their own volume, so you might just need to turn it up over there. I just checked on my phone, and it sounds good. Okay, let's get a little bit deeper. But yeah, for me, and then last thing, I want to get into is placement of your background layers. Again, you have a lot of good ad libs and a lot of good movement. Yeah, of course, Hannah, no worries. A lot of good movement in the background as well, like some ad libs and some layers and stuff like that. They're all kind of pretty close to that lead vocal. There's a couple moments in here where we have a really nice stack of vocals. I would love for those to be panned opposite of each other, left and right, a little bit more open, a little bit wider. So you get these stacks of these in and outs, right? And these accent vocals in there that actually offer something to the stereo field. They don't feel like they're just kind of stepping on the toe of the lead vocal or harmonizing directly, doubling directly with the lead vocal, but they actually open up your signal a little bit there. Hannah, thank you for the gifts. I really appreciate that.
I see that the stars in the moonlight shine brighter when I'm with you.
So even then, when I'm with you, you have like a background vocal. You have a little background right there in the little background vocal there. It's like you barely even know that it's there until it changes pitch with the lead vocal. Just pan it off like 20%. Just throw it over here with a bunch of chorus and reverb or something. Get it off, get it out of the way of that lead so we can distinguish it. We can separate it from that lead vocal mix. It'll make it a little bit sharper and also just make the mix feel a little bit more interesting to listen to. So it doesn't feel like all those vocals are stepping on each other's toes in the middle. Let me go a little bit deeper.
I know that you hate thugs.
Like all these. You have the octave right there in the background too. Love that. But I would double track that and probably move it outside at least like 50%. One left, one right. double it up a little bit so that vocal, when they come in, feels wide. Your perceived loudness, whenever you're panning to the outside, is a bit louder, right? Even if the numbers, the decibel stays the same, the perceived loudness of how loud it actually feels in the mix and how you actually hear it in the mix is going to be a little bit louder. So when you open things to the outside, you might want to pull them back by a couple dB. Just because once you start moving far out into the stereo field, it's so much more distinct. Like you hear it so much clearer when something's like randomly way over here, right? So it's beneficial to pull it down probably by a couple dB if you do that. But I would take some of these doubles, take some of these background vocals and ad libs and layers, and just push them to the outside. If they're doubles, just make sure your phase cohesive. That your phase ends getting, if you have like a double of the vocal that's been duplicated, it doesn't cancel itself, change timing, color, texture, stuff like that. But yeah, just get those background vocals to the outside. Oh, you don't have to worry about TikTok. TikTok's fine. I mean, as long as it's not, I mean, I've heard some crazy stuff on here. As long as it's not like against terms of service, you can kind of do whatever. It can have cursing in it. You can be talking about whatever. You can say whatever. I sometimes just get a little bit more limited with what I can say. But yeah, they're pretty decent about music. They can be, a little restrictive with like what the hosts can say and what their AI picks up on. But music, they're usually pretty fine. They're usually pretty okay. Okay, I think that was the last thing, but let me hear the outro really quick.
A crushing on you. Oh, baby, I know that you're hard.
Like when you do no, I want that to feel really wide. And I do hear the like harmonies there, and I do hear the octave right there, and I hear the doubling of the vocal, but it's all like kind of coming at you right here. Next song I'm gonna say called, okay, I can't say the name, but we can listen to it. I'm gonna say OF or something, or yeah, I don't know what they'll let me say. I just can't say too much about it, but we can still listen. We can still listen to it. I just can't like talk about those things on here. But I can. I'm used to like saying red app, purple app. Go to the LIB, and like what I'm always saying some freaking weird code words on here anyway. So I can work around it. Y'all show some love to Loverboy right here in the chat. I really appreciate what you're doing stylistically, man. It's smooth. I feel Joan, thank you for the follow. I think it's smooth. I feel like it's structured really well. It is repetitive. It's catchy. You're doing so many things really, really well. Now it's about polish, right? Now it's about positioning. It's about gain staging. It's about manual control over the vocal. It's making sure that you go from something that feels like, yeah, it's written pretty well and it's structured decently well, but you don't have the amount of like control that makes it feel a little bit more polished and more palatable by a consumer. Distinguishing those melodies and all of your layers, all that good stuff. But y'all show some love one more time to Loverboy. Thank you for your patience as well, man. I appreciate that a lot. The queue is long, but you can skip. You can always move forward and stuff like that. If y'all want to check the line, I have 3 songs left. 3 songs left. That's all I got time for. So if you do want to submit, go to my profile, click on the link, and then just read through and follow the details. But please check the line first. Let me double check. Yeah, I think everything's locked in. All right, we got Derek Bennet in the building. Let's keep it running. Shout out to it's Love a Baby over here, but the artist name is Loverboy. Shout out to him. I appreciate you sending that in, man. All props to you. I appreciate hearing your work, man. All right, we got Derek Bennet in the building. We got right now I've got Derek, Marcel, and Organism as the top 3. That can change, that can move. As always, just in case. Sounds good. Marcel, actually, you're up. Marcel, you're up. Derek's on a phone call. Let's run it. So if you do want to submit, you can go to my profile, read through and click through everything there. Just check the line on YT, the red app first. Let's see, Marcel, this is from a bit ago. So you got the free movement right there. Let's see. Is it cul-de-sac? Kyle's in the building. What's up, Kyle? If y'all are over on TikTok too, make sure you're tapping the screen, share out the live. Hey, have a good one, Hannah. Sleep well. Wake up refreshed. I appreciate you tapping in, and thank you so much for your generosity as well, Hannah. I appreciate that a lot. All right, let's get into it. This is Been a Minute. Song is called Cul-de-sac, featuring Mosa Daly, produced by Zay Paco, I believe. Lyrics by Marcel Rashad right here in the chat. That's the family. Been here for a minute. Appreciate you tapping in again. This is Cul-de-sac by Marcel. Any other details you want me to know? Definitely let me know. Drop it in the chat. Let's get it.
Don't start no
All right, let's go,
shit,
Marcel.
won't be no shit. Don't start no shit, won't be no shit.
Spacey,
Don't
welcome in.
start no shit, won't be no shit, nigga. Air 'em out, proper, put a chopper on the
You're good.
clothesline. Need to pop the whole 9. Life is like a whirlwind. solo like the cut they put the syrup in. Nosy ass neighbors, they be lurking through the
Hold up.
curtains. Nigga.
Oh, okay. It's released. It's released. Let's run it on Spotify. Then let's get you the stream. We got to get you the stream. What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? Cul-de-sac. There we go. There we go. There we go. Beautiful. Okay. All right. So for those of you who don't know, this is out on all platforms. So go stream it. Go add it to your playlist. Go run up the numbers. Go like the track. Go follow on Spotify. All that good stuff. Show some love and support. This is Cul-de-sac by Marcel Rashad. Let's dive in. We got to stream it. We got to stream it. Come on. Why is it not playing? Give me a sec. I'm trying to make my songs more industry ready. I don't know if it's just mixing or art direction. To be honest, I haven't even listened, right? But it's usually a little bit of both. A fantastic mix won't fix a bad song. So I haven't even heard this yet, but just for most people, for myself, for everyone, it's people think usually that the mix will fix it. The mix is usually not the issue. It's usually creative direction. It's usually structure to the song. Excuse me. All right. Why is it not playing? There we go. We're back. All right, let's get it.
Start no shit, won't be no shit. Don't start no shit, won't be no shit. Don't start no shit.
Hey, good to see you, Kaden. I appreciate you tapping in.
Proper, put a chopper on a clothesline. Need to pop the whole nine. Life is like a whirlwind. I've been moving solo like the cut they put the syrup in. Nosy ass neighbors, they be lurking through the curtains. Nigga, rearrange the drapes. Money, weed, religion, CDs, all the breaks. If niggas sees you tripping, they squeeze 38s. Tryna make their way into heaven, they shooting through the gates. This ain't boys in the hood. Pray for poor little Ricky. Too many offers of 10 pennies where murders occur. So run and tell it like the
What's
sister
up, John?
off of Phoenix
Hell
and
yeah.
her. You crackers thinking
That's
you
what we've
say
been doing all
just 'cause
day.
you live in the birds, but I know bitches, I know niggas round my cul-de-sac.
2 songs left, y'all. I'm gonna close the line after this.
Got to show me on my shoulders, told me represent, ayy, represent. If a bitch won't run up, bitch get done up. Cousin think he shoot her, alright, play a little gun and keep the pole like gone off 100x.
Who engineered this?
100 on the team, let the team stay 100. Guess who come in to dinner? They call me Mr. Tips. Got the juice, Caprice.
Good flow, good movement.
Kids and them bad motherfuckers used to stand. I insist. Made that gun sing soprano, put panels to your chest. He need EMTC emergency vehicles. Yes, I ain't no shooter, so evildoers beware. Get hair triggers if near do wells. Well, bitch, you would do. Now your friend bleeding out. Hi, welcome to the loop. Watching
Zakai, go to my profile, click on the link, and just read through the details there. The line is over on YT, the red app, which is at my link as well.
Thinking you safe just cause you live in the birds, but I know bitches, I know niggas round my cul-de-sac. Got to show me on my shoulders, told me represent, ayy, represent. If a bitch won't run up, bitch get done up. Cousin think he shoot her, alright, play a little gun and keep the pole like gone off 100x 100 on the team, let the team stay 100. I know niggas, I know bitches round my cul-de-sac. Got to show me on my shoulders, told me represent, ayy.
Let's go, man.
If a bitch won't run up, bitch get done up. Cousin think he shoot her, always play a little gun and keep the pole like gone off 100x 100 on the team, let the team stay 100. Don't start no shit, won't be no shit. Don't start no shit, won't be no shit. Don't start no shit, won't be no shit, nigga.
Let's go. Y'all, show some love. That is Marcel Rashad. Let's get into it. Let's run it from the top. I'm going to try to move at a good pace. Twiggy Sings, thank you for tapping in. I appreciate you being here. We got 2 more songs, y'all. 2 more songs, and then we're out of here. Show some love. That is Cul-de-sac, and it is out on all platforms. So if you like what you hear, go stream it, go add it to your playlist, all that good stuff. Show some love to Marcel Rashad. That's the family. He's been here for a minute. Love and appreciate you, man. Thank you for what you do. Let's dive in, man. And this is a good start. Like you talking about commercial viability. Like and making stuff that's like a little bit more like palatable commercially. I feel like you're doing that. I mean, this does feel like a very like modern record, right? Like this feels like it's structured well. It feels like you have a good distinct hook and good structure. Yeah, exactly. So let's dive in, man. Let's run it from the top. Let's get into some details here. And honestly, the mix to me, there's some things I want to listen for, but the mix to me is good. It's good. It's like, it's pretty, you know, it's punchy. There's a part, I'm listening for something in your vocal, but honestly, it's pretty good. Like, something feels a little interesting to me, and I don't know if I have the language for it just yet. So it's obviously, like we always do, we'll listen again, we'll dive into it. I think it's something on your vocal mix separates your vocal from the production a little bit, maybe like even like a little bit too compressed, where you have this like really vibrant mix and then your vocal is like tight, it's tight, super tight right here. So I'm going to listen for some stuff like that. But honestly, man, I feel like your structure is really good. You have good pacing, good cadence, good flow, good switch ups too. So I feel like as far as structure goes, formatting goes, I feel like you got it in spades, man. Really, really talented. So let's run it. Let's get it from the top. This is Cul-de-sac by Marcel Rashad. Let's get into it.
Don't start no
Early intro. I mean, literally what we just talked about, Marcel, and you were here for that. Early introduction to the vocal. That's literally what I'm talking about. Like that right? That's all we need. Where it's a part of a hook, it's a sample from another part of the song, it's an ad lib, it's a deep breath, it's you light a lighter. Like, let people know you're there. Let people know you're there. That's exactly what I'm talking about. 2 seconds in, 2.5 seconds in, yeah, you have part of your hook in there. Beautiful, beautiful.
Don't start no shit, won't be no shit. Don't start no shit, won't.
Only thing that I like notice here is it's washed in a bunch of reverb, and I don't feel like it needs. Personal opinion. This is personal preference. It's like washed in reverb, right? It's, as soon as that vocal comes in, I love it, but it's you start to just hear all this noise, all this fuzz in the background because there's like this huge stereo reverb and delays and stuff on it. I feel like that vocal, like the piano's really tight. What I like about this beat is that it's dun dun bum 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 bum. It's really like tight and dry, right? That vocal's so washed in ambiance and so kind of drowned out by all of that processing that I actually lose like the punch of the beat again, right? There's so much going on that I lose that little snap of the piano because now it's like filled out completely with all of the rest of the production. So, that's something to like keep in mind, that like if you have, oh hell yeah, dude, that's awesome. If you, just something to keep in mind, right? It's not something you need to like change. Obviously it's released, but something to keep in mind is like if you have something in the production that's really punchy and it drives and it really is like the cornerstone of the production of what makes it feel vibey and give it bounce, then don't do anything in the rest of the production, including vocals, that takes away from that, because then you lose the energy that you're trying to portray. So something to like think about, not necessarily something you have to, like fix.
Don't start no shit, won't be no shit, nigga. Air 'em out proper, put a chopper on a clothesline. Nina pop the whole nine, life is like a whirlwind. I've been moving solo like the cut they put the syrup in. Nosy ass neighbors, they be lurking through the curtains. Nigga, rearrange the drapes. Money, weed, religion, CDs, all the breaks. If niggas sees you tripping,
It's a good performance too. Like I feel like you're emoting well, like your attitude, your energy on the mic feels really consistent. I like that a lot, man.
38s, trying
Props
to
to
make
you.
their way into heaven, they shooting through the gates. This ain't boys in the hood. Pray for poor little Ricky, too many offers of 10 pennies where murders occur. So run and tell it like the sister off of Phoenix and Fur. You crackers thinking you safe just cause you live in the birds, but I know bitches, I know niggas round my cul-de-sac.
It's a good hook and good doubles too in the background too. That positioning is great as well. It's a really, really good hook.
Cul-de-sac. Got to show me on my shoulders, told me represent, ayy, represent. If a bitch won't run up, bitch get done up. Cousin think he shooter, alright, play a little gun and keep the pole like gone off 100x hunter. 100 on the team, not the team.
Really good mix on the production though. I'm listening for the vocal still, and the vocal mix is still really good. G Cardi, welcome in. But the mix on the production is really snappy. It's really punchy.
Guess who come in to dinner? They call me Mr. Tips. Got the
Red, we're about to close the line. You technically still can. Just check the line first. It's over on the Red app, YT. Over on the Red app, you can check the line over there. As you can see the minimums in the order and stuff like that. But I only have time for 2 more songs. So if it's lower than that, that's why I adjust the minimum. If it's lower than that, then I won't be able to hear it tonight. But if you move forward, then I can try to hear it tonight. But I only got time for 2 more songs. What's up, Salva? Welcome in. Thank you for tapping in. I appreciate you being here. Outcast, thank you for joining the stream. I appreciate you being here as well.
Capri Sun for baby kids and them bad motherfuckers used to stand ISS. Made that gun sing soprano, put panels to your chest. Any EMTC emergency vehicles. Yes, I ain't no shooter, so evil doers beware. Get hair triggers if near do wells, well, bitch, you would do
like structurally speaking, lyrically speaking, man, you're very, very, very talented. Seriously, really, really talented, man. You should be proud. I mean, I've heard your music over years at this point. You should be very, very proud of the work that you're putting in, man.
Your friend bleeding out. Hi, welcome to the loop. Watching boys in the hood.
Okay, and this vocal to me, okay, so I'm trying to kind of hone in on what I'm hearing here. This vocal to me just sounds a little boxy. It just sounds like in like 500 to 1,000 or 400 to 1,000 hertz, 500 to 1,000 hertz, in that little range right there. It feels like there's been some surgery that's happened to the vocal EQ wise that's carved a lot of space out, but you've lost some like natural phrasing and energy in the process. And I would almost love to just like regain some of the natural like dynamic range of the vocal. It feels very squashed. So it feels like kind of two things have happened where like the threshold's a little bit low in the compression, maybe on multiple stages of compression. So your vocal's a little bit squashed, right? In the mix, you can hear some of the pumping and you can hear that compression, like holding that vocal down. So it feels really like ultra punchy and ultra drive. And then on the EQ side, it feels very carved where like it's cutting out all of this like natural energy lower in your vocal. And so you don't get a lot of just like the natural like openness of just hearing Marcel and hearing you rap, hearing the energy give and take in your vocal a little bit more. So I would like to hear basically on your EQ and your compression, just looser, like just by a hair, right? Just by a hair. If you got, 8 dB of reduction across 3 different compressors, I feel like that's what's kind of robbing you of a little bit of the life here and making your vocal feel like even a little bit like boxy, a little nasally, even beyond what the actual vocal sounds like. Cause I have to deal with that when my allergies fucking suck too. But I mean, from an actual EQ standpoint. So I would love a small readjustment to the way that your vocal is EQ'd. And then potentially the amount of suppression that's happening of the dynamic range of your vocal. So because right now your vocal is just streamlined. It's like right straight through. Recorded the vocal one place and mixed it somewhere else. I think that might be the issue. Yeah, I mean, that happens. So like I'm completely remote with I have a studio here. But this is my production studio. So since I do session work and I do like instrument tracking and production and stuff in here, this is just set up for me. It's not really set up. Other people come here sometimes, but like it's really just set up for me. So every vocal that I ever mix is recorded in one place and mixed in another. So that to me is not like the biggest issue. It's not the biggest issue because that's like 100% of the artists that I mix for is recorded somewhere else in their studio, in their home, and then sent to me, and I mix it in my space in these headphones or in my speakers, right? So that to me is not the biggest issue. The biggest issue with that is familiarity with different mediums for reference, right? So if the engineer that worked on it or the people involved, like, aren't used to another system, which is literally why I bought these headphones, so I can go anywhere and know that I'm going to get a good quality reference. If there's not a lot of familiarity with the referencing in a different system, a different speakers, different headphones, a different studio, different rooms, stuff like that, that can be an issue. You can mitigate that, but I think that's a little bit of what I'm hearing is like it's a good quality tracking. It's good quality tracking, but the vocal is a little boxy, right? It's got some weird carving that's happened that are taking some of the life and natural phrasing out of the vocal, and so it feels less transparent than I would like. I would love to hear a little bit more of like your natural tone, because you could have tons of processing. You could have 3 EQs and multiple, have a preamp, have some compression and de-essing and stuff like that. You can have all this stuff on there and it still like sound transparent. Like I would love to hear a little bit more of that natural tone and not feel like I hear the EQ on your vocal. I hear the compression pumping. And when I hear that, it pulls me out of the emotion behind what you're saying a little bit. What's up in here? What's the live about? Kind of surfing. Is it Malice Black? Thank you for tapping in. We are doing consultations for artists, producers, musicians, songwriters, stuff like that. So we're spending about 20 to 30 minutes per track, diving into people's music, talking through their song structure, mix, production, stuff like that. And offering some tools, some actionable feedback on what they're doing. All right, let's get a little bit deeper. I'm going to try to move at a good pace. But those are the things. Those are the things that I'm hearing. Your performance, your writing, production structure, all fantastic to me. All sounds amazing. It's just that little structure right there. It's just coming down to the approach to EQing on your vocal. I want more transparency, so I hear you know, Marcel as much as I can, and hear less of the process itself. This is the same thing happens with like autotune, right? Where it's like sometimes on certain songs, I am hearing autotune before I'm hearing the artist. And then take someone like Chris Brown, right? Or like, you know, Tory Lanez or something like that, right? Like, you know, Usher, right? Where they're all auto-tuned. It's all auto-tuned. And sometimes it's really auto-tuned, right? But it's like, it's not like the first thing that you hear. You can tell that it's auto-tuned, obviously, but it's not like the first thing that grabs your attention. It's the vibe of the song. It's the energy behind the performance. It's more transparent. And so that's kind of what I'm looking for. Okay.
Represent if a bitch. I know bitches round my cul-de-sac.
Appreciate you being here. Welcome in.
Show me on my shoulders, told me represent, hey, represent. If a bitch won't run up, bitch get done up. Cousin think he shoot or he play a little gun and keep the pole like gone off a
We tell people autotune should be a vibe, not a cover up. And it's, yeah, I have probably a more nuanced take than that, at least just like in the work that I've done over the years. It really just depends on the song, on the artist. Some people are using it because they can't sing, and if they were to just untune the vocal, there would be no energy to the performance. And it is a style. It's like chorus, it's like flanger and you know, phasing and stuff like that. Just like distortion, where it's like you could say like, man, like just do a clean guitar, but then it wouldn't have the vibe and the energy of the genre that you're diving into. So if you're doing like melodic rap and stuff like that, it wouldn't carry the same instrumental weight in your mix if it wasn't auto-tuned, even if it is a band-aid for your performance and stuff like that. So to me, it's nuanced, where it's like, it really just has to, like, what is the song? Some, you know, some melodic rap songs and some other songs kind of in those genres, you know, R&B, pop, melodic rap, things like that, where you can get away with like a 30 millisecond retune speed and a little bit more humanized, right? A little bit more natural, and it sounds fine. And it kind of has that vibe. Think even some like, who's the artist? I can't think of the name right now. It's whatever. My brain's not working today. You know, there's some other artists out there where like they're not relying necessarily on it, and then there's other artists where like you just wouldn't even want to listen to what they're doing if it didn't have it, and then they do use it and it does work as a tool and they blow up because of it. So I think it really just depends on song. It really depends on what's the song, what's the purpose of that song, what's the structure of it, what audience is it pointed to, and what is that audience value. If that audience cares way more about just the aesthetic of what they're doing than they do that they're using Band-Aid as a, you know, or using autotune as a Band-Aid, then I think they've already won. Do you like Alex Warren? I think he's talented. I don't listen to his style of music a whole lot. I mean, I do by default of working with some artists like that. But yeah, I think he's super talented. He obviously has a great voice. He's a good writer, and he works with a lot of good writers. So yeah, I mean, I think there's a reason why he's gone to #1 and he's blown up with some of his more recent work. Yeah, I think he's super talented.
Honey on the team, and the team stay a honey. But you know what? Don't start no shit, won't be no shit. Don't start no shit, won't be no shit. Don't start no shit, won't be no shit. Nigga.
Yo, show some love, man. Show some love. That's Marcel Rashad. The song is called Cul-de-sac. Yeah, man, you're a beast. You're a great writer, great structure. The energy's fantastic. I don't think you need to worry about that. You aimed to be a little bit more commercially viable, a little bit more palatable, and I think you've nailed that. I think from a lyricism standpoint, flow, changes, dynamics, layering, all of that's in spades. I think it's fantastic. It's really well done. Mixed on the beat is nice. It's solid. It's slicey. It's punchy. Biggest thing for me is like vocal structure. So that's the one thing I would address, or at the very least, like revisit, hash it out a little bit with the engineers and stuff like that. I think that's the little pocket right there that I feel like I would put the most focus on. But man, you're very talented, man. It's so good to hear your music again. Let's keep it moving, y'all. Last two songs. We are going to go ahead and close up the line. Let me do a couple things here to get this adjusted. And we got two left. We got Derek in the building. Derek, let me know if you're here. Paisley, thank you so much for the follow. Yeah, it's like vocal production, like the actual EQ and compression, like foundational EQ and compression on your vocal. Just your aim is transparency, more of that, right? Like, at least in my opinion, I'm just me. But in my opinion, aim for more transparency. Also, I don't know what kind of mic. I'm kind of assuming you're recording into like a solid state mic. I would love to hear your vocal through a tube microphone. Your vocal is Rokusai, welcome in, welcome back. Your vocal is very slicey, and I would love to soften some of those harder edges around your vocal. I think a little bit of tube saturation would help. I would love to hear your vocal through a tube mic. Sounds good, Derek. Sounds good. Sounds good. Okay, line is closed. Ray, thank you so much for tapping in. Just make sure that you're following. Make sure that you're following. We'll be live again tomorrow afternoon. Not positive on the time, but we're going to go to closing up the line literally right now. Literally right now. If you have like a really punchy, like you have a heavy voice, right? You got a lot of energy and a lot of like diaphragmatic support. Like you have a really, really good, strong voice. It can be nice to have something that softens just a little bit, right? Like I love using, and I have a couple solid state mics. I have another Neumann that's a solid state mic. I have this Neumann that's a tube microphone. I never go to the other one anymore. It's just, I use it sometimes on like acoustic guitars because it's a TLM. It's a really bright microphone. I'm actually probably going to sell it. It's bright. It's a little bit brittle, so it can work well with like airy female vocals. It can work well with acoustics, but man, once you move to a tube microphone, especially for one that really fits well with your vocal structure, you'll never go back. It's something special. Okay, let me close up things over here. Give me just 1 second. And then once again, y'all, we will be live again tomorrow. So definitely tap in. Make sure that you're following on either, YouTube, Twitch, or TikTok right here. You can also be a decent singer, but still sound off on a track where everything's tuned slightly. Facts, Mike, 100%. In fact, every artist that you hear on the radio today is using tuning. Like you could be the best vocalist. It's like Adele, Ariana Grande, like some of these phenomenal like pop and alternative and contemporary vocalists, like Michael Bublé, like these people that are like, obviously like very, very talented contemporary vocalists and stuff like that. They're all using autotune, all of them. You know what I mean? Like, so it's not a crutch for them. It's just polish. It's just you get used to hearing a certain level of polish over time, and I do think that like it's like every single one of these vocals. Hey, sounds good. I love that. Rokusai, I appreciate that a lot. Yeah, I'm excited to listen. Okay, and then let me close the line for today. Yes, thank you so much, man. Back if you have time for me. If not, that's okay too. I think with where you're at, so I have you at 3rd on here right now, and I have 2 left. So right now it's Derek and Organism, if Organism's still here. It's Derek and Organism. So of course you could move if you want to. That's up to you. There's obviously no pressure ever. But yeah, right now I have you in 3rd. I'll be on a little bit longer tomorrow, probably too. Okay, Derek, let's get into it. You said could move a little bit quicker on this one. Just mix and master. Okay. So this song is largely done. Organism, beautiful. All right, y'all. Line is closed, but we're going to be on again tomorrow. So if you want to get heard, definitely tap in tomorrow. Looking for mix and master feedback only here. There's something I'm hearing that I'm not 100% sold on for this one. Okay, let's get into it. Oh yeah, I remember this. All right, this is Derek Bennet.
Reaching for your hand, but nothing's there. Just empty rooms, a vacant stare. My heart beats a hollow sound. Oh, I'm alive, but the silence drowns
It's a great voice.
me out. It drowns me out. The clock keeps ticking. I can't escape. Frozen in time, I let you slip away. All this love, all this fire inside my chest. I reached for you, but all I found were empty hands. All these words meant nothing at all to you.
Cool voice, man.
When the river runs dry, I'm the one who loved with nothing in return.
Got you, retrack. I got you, man. Appreciate you.
Pictures fade, the pain remains. I see your name in everything. Time stands still, this can't be real. Is this how
Got you,
I feel?
yeah.
The clock keeps ticking. I can't escape. Frozen in time, I let you slip away.
Yeah, it's a little hot.
All this love, all this fire inside my chest. I reached for dry. I'm the one who loved with nothing in return.
Production's really cool, man. It's really cool.
The hands won't move, I'm frozen in time, haunted by what might have been.
Let's go. Y'all, show some love. We're going to get straight into it. This should be a fast one here. Let's get into it. Okay. A couple things that I'm hearing. I agree with Rokusai over on the Purple app. They said it's a little hot, like around 4K. Yeah, it's great structure, great writing. It's cinematic, it's dramatic, it's all the addicts that you want it to be. Very, very interesting to listen to. The dynamics are great. But I do agree that there's some like kind of upper mids. Like, yeah, it does sound like 4 or 5K, where there's like a little bit of like ringing right there. It's kind of maybe where some of the sibilance lies as well. So like look between like 4 to 6K, because it comes out naturally in the vocal, because it is a very bright vocal. It's been punched pretty high. Because it's been brightened so far, I think some of that's been just elevated and lifted and shelved a bit. So look between like 4 to 6K, and that little pocket right there. It's not like the air at 10K plus, but 4 to 6K. There's a little bit of harshness, some abrasiveness right there. Every once in a while, depending on where he's at in his register, you get a little bit of ring right there. So just see if you need to make some adjustments to de-essing, because there's some harsh sibilance in there every once in a while as well, and or creating a little bit of a dip, just a controlled dip, tight Q dip, around 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 hertz, kind of in the upper mids to the highs right there as well. So just revisit right there, because it does feel a little bit harsh, a little bit like the vocal is very bright and very punchy. Compression's really smooth. I like that a lot. But it is very sharp. It is very sharp. And so I think we can soften it just a little bit so it doesn't feel so direct and in my face. Yep, 100%. Fab filter's great for that. Dynamic EQ is obviously that's great for stuff like that. Okay, let's get into it. And then the only other thing that to me, beyond like what is actually here, that I'm missing is just vocal register, because he's he's kind of right here in that register for the whole song. So I do miss a little bit of life and like layering to the vocal, an octave higher, right? With a little bit more energy, a little bit more vibrancy to it, right? So you introduce a low formant shift vocal an octave below. That can probably pull back a couple dB, so it's not too prominent. You really hear it forward. You could probably pull back on that by a couple dB, so it's not too in your face. But I don't mind the layering of the low octave and the formant shift right there, like a little altar boy style. But my brain wants to hear higher, because he has such a strong voice here, but the instruments are going crazy and they're building all these dynamics, and the voice like never gets there. It never quite jumps to that level. How do I start writing my own song? Paisley, go to my YouTube channel. And you can find it at my profile called it's just Torvik Music. You can find it up there. Just go to the link. I'm actually live on that channel right now. Go to that channel, and I have a video in there about object writing. It's about object writing. To me, that's probably one of the best first tools that I would use to start learning how to write on your own, by doing like tools and like challenges that you do, random word generators, and then doing object writing structure with that. I have a whole video on my YouTube. I think that'd be really helpful for you. That way you can kind of learn tools to teach you how to write creatively and outside of the box, and not just like lame basic things that like you kind of get stuck, right? Object writing is great. It's one of my object writing, peripheral writing, stuff like that is some of my favorite ways to make sure that I'm not writing too on the nose, and I'm not writing in a way that's like, just basic and nothing really lines up. It makes the way that you go about your subject matter really interesting. Look up object writing. You can check out that on my channel as well. I think it would be really helpful. Benji, the line is closed for today. But we will be live again tomorrow. So just make sure y'all are following AM Paper. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. But we'll be live again tomorrow afternoon. Not sure on time, just when I'm done with projects. We'll be live again tomorrow, and we'll open up the line again. Okay, let's run it from the top. Let's dive into a couple details here, but we should be able to move pretty quickly. I endorse object writing. Simple techniques can really push you forward. Yeah, 100%. I don't know why people don't. I talk about object writing all the time, because it's one of my favorite ways to just like 10-minute timer, random word generator, lock in, go. I've written so many songs based off object writing. It just makes it interesting, right? Because then I'm like writing a song about phone case. how do I do that? And you just unload information about phone case for 10 minutes and just get it all out there. And the next thing you know, you got all these interesting perspectives of like I don't know. It's so intriguing to me, and I wish more people would talk about. I need to post more about songwriting because it's one of my favorite parts about music is songwriting. And I just post synths all the time. Okay, let's get into it there. Object writing is powerful though.
Reaching for your hand, but nothing's there, just empty rooms, a vacant stare. My heart beats a hollow sound. Oh, I'm alive, but the
Is that Paisley on the Red app? Is that Paisley over on the Red app? Let me know if that's you.
silence drowns me out.
Because like even in this early, again, you're not competing with a whole lot, right? You're not competing with a whole lot. So even here, that vocal is like very, very bright, but the mix is very like low key, right? Paisley, thanks for tapping in over on the Red app. I see you. Very, very open, very, very bright. It can soften a little bit. Just a bit. I like that it's bright. I want a bright vocal, but in this case, it can become a little bit abrasive, especially around that 4 to 6K where you're getting a little bit more sibilant energy. So just rebalance that lightly.
Drowns me out.
Great voice though. Great voice.
The clock keeps ticking. I can't escape. Frozen in time, I let you.
Like that format shift, it's heavy, and I like what it's doing, but it could probably come back a couple dB. I start to hear the monster voice more than I like hear the vocals. Sometimes maybe that's just my ears being too whatever, but it starts to overwhelm the mix a little bit. I think you can pull back by like 2 or 3 dB, restructure, rebalance that a little bit. So it's there, it's supportive, but it's like you barely know it's there. It's just there for weight. It's not taking over the lead vocal mix. Okay, and then I want to get into this next little line right here. Got like gnats in here. What's going on? So right here, again, this is like your hook structure here. I would love, at least on your B section. All these words. Yeah, you can. It's just so distinct. Some of that's just the high end that you're hearing too. So it stands out a lot. It's very distinct. So I think you can control that a little bit better. That'll be fine. But I would love a high octave here. Even if you just, it's not ideal, but even if you just do, tracking, it's even better. Female vocals even better. But even if you just need to like duplicate the track and melodyne an octave up and then like pan it out and filter it a lot, just having that high octave over like these melodies, at least on the B section here.
I reached for you, but all I found
True.
were empty hands. All these words meant nothing at all to you.
It needs a little bit of support. It needs like it's just like the energy's building a lot and that vocal's restrained. He jumps a little bit. I mean, he's got a great voice. But I would love for that vocal to have a little bit of support. It's just a little lonely in this really dynamic production. All right, let's get into this next section here.
Pictures fade,
Same thing here, the pictures fade. And he's singing with a lot of intensity, so it's really jumping forward. It's like very, very responsive. So again, soften that a little bit so it doesn't feel so boom in your face where it's all like, it's very, it's very there, but like the piano and everything's really soft in the background. So softening a little bit of the mix in the vocal will definitely help.
in everything, time stands still. This can't be real. Is this how I feel? The clock keeps ticking. I can't escape.
Same thing on the low formant right there. That'll just bring it down just a hair.
Feel the clock keeps ticking. I can't escape. Frozen in time, I let you slip.
This is kind of the pre.
All this love.
Especially here. Now here, like, this low D minor, right? Everything's, it's so heavy. There's so much energy. Just kidding, but I kind of desire a subdued seventh and a harmony all time. Hey, if it works, it works, man. If it works, it works. There's so much energy here, right? I mean, listen to these strings.
All this love, all this fire inside my chest.
And then I hear the I hear the background vocals right there. Beautiful ad-libs. Those are the layers I'm looking for. Those ad-libs are beautiful. I still think that lead needs support though, right? So like the additive vocals that you have, these like peripheral vocals, I really, really like, right? Where they're open, they're interesting, they have counter melodies to what you have before. All of that sounds fantastic. I really, really like it. I still think like that vocal needs something though. Like that vocal, it's just a lower register starting out. So you have tons of energy, and then he's all these da, 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 da. It's like very comfortable. He doesn't have to like really like work or project that much. So I would like, at the very least try to support that with a layer, even if it's like a digital layer, right? Melodyne and octave up, tucked way back, pan 5% to the right. You know what I mean? Like just, it's there, it exists, but it's like, you barely know it's there. Same with the low formant shift, and then keep the ad-libs where they are. I just think it's a little bit lonely as far as like the lead melody goes and his register of vocal for how much vibrancy there is around it.
I reached for you, but all I found were empty hands. All these words meant nothing at all to you when the river runs dry.
Louis, thank you so much for tapping in. Or is it Louis or Louis? Thank you so much. Oops, don't do that. Thank you for tapping in. The line is closed for today. It's closed for today. We got one more song after this. But if you would like to submit, just make sure that you're following. We will open up the line again tomorrow afternoon and take on a full, fresh batch of consultations. These are long-form, detailed, music-based consultations for artists, producers, musicians, engineers, so on and so on.
I am the one who loved with nothing in return.
There's some harmonies, right? I mean, do you hear that? Like, listen to that harmony. Da 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 da. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate you. Do you hear that? Da 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 at the end. Beautiful. That's exactly what I want to hear more of.
Nothing in return.
That pocket right there. Gorgeous. I love everything about it. That's more what I want to hear. Like, I want to hear not just the ad lib, but also support for the vocal. It sounds so good.
With nothing in return.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Hear how much energy that harmony gives that vocal. Da, da, da. It gives it so much texture and so much like weight and presence in the mix. That to me matters a lot. However you structure that, it needs that vocal structure in there. Y'all show some love to Derek Bennet, man. Derek Bennet is so talented, man. He's a great producer. He wrote that song as well. Very, very, very talented producer. And I'm so proud of the work that you do, man. Let me know if there's anything else, just really briefly, that you were thinking. I know you said you had kind of an idea of something that was bothering you. Let me know. Let me know. And let me back. I want to look at something right here as well. My mix tells it, hey, you're a good organism. You're not alone. You're not alone. You're not alone. But yeah, for me, it just comes down to that vocal structure, the actual EQ on the vocal itself, targeting the 4 to 6K range to make sure that things are a little bit cleaner, a little bit softer, not as abrasive, and then supporting the vocal on the hook. That to me is, and then the format shift a little bit there. Production structure sounds great though. I think the production's mixed really well. Very vibrant, very wide, and very open. So I like that a lot. Y'all show some love to Derek Bennet. Derek, love you, man. I appreciate you so much. Let's get into this last track, man. Let's get into this last track. This is gonna close us out. Shout out to Derek Bennet, though. Please, if you catch Derek live, definitely tap in with him. If you see him on a live stream, send him some gifts, send him some roses and galaxies and stuff like that. Send him your music, tap in with him. If you're looking for like a cinematic contemporary producer, tap in with Derek as he grows his base as well. That's the family right there. Family. Appreciate you, man. I'm trying to learn how to be more in tone. I sing metal screams and growl, but I wish I could be this in tune, like this in tone singing. Yeah, 100%. It's just like any other tool. It takes repetition. It takes darts on the board, right? So I think a lot of people, like, the only time that they're singing is when they're writing, as opposed to practicing singing, right? So I would encourage absolutely anybody to make sure that, like, if you want to be a really talented guitarist, right? You want to be a really, really talented guitarist. But the only time that you play guitar is like once every other week when you're like tracking a guitar part for a loop on a beat, and that's it. You're never going to get better. You need to like do scales. You need to learn phrasing. You need to get accustomed to your fretboard. You need to, learn intonation and all that stuff, right? So like, if you want to be a good vocalist, right? If you want to be a prolific vocalist and not even just screams, like you've like really mastered like false chord screams and fry screams and stuff like that, really like guttural low growls and things like that. You're like, dude, I've got that down, but my clean vocal, I feel like it wavers in pitch a whole lot. Then you need to practice that at scale, right? Like you need to learn. You need to actually learn through scaling how to really tap into it and execute it every day. Like anytime that I've worked with artists, like in actual vocal production and stuff like that, anytime that I've been like working on my own voice and like working on training my own vocal, it was like 20, 30 minutes a day, every single day for like a whole year that I was really locking in on, like working through the break in my like chest voice into my head voice, like working on that mixed voice, higher falsetto strength and stuff like that. That's the stuff that you really it takes repetition, just like anything. It takes repetition. Okay. Vocalist is having a really great time. Reading my comments. It's semi-purposeful, but should be let me see. Remember, it's semi-purposeful, but should be re-recorded. Vocalist is having a really great time. Okay, cool. Let me see. 100%. Okay. Oh, maybe sure. My mix sounds like shite. Just looking for arrangement critique, a vocal recorded on iPhone. But it's going to be recorded. Let me see. And let me see. I don't think I have the email. Did you send the email? Organism? What was the name of the name? Let me see here. There's Marcy, there's Aiton, there's Derek, there's Austin from earlier. This from March 3rd. That was 2 days ago. Okay, yeah, the email's not here and it's not in spam, so just double check that you sent it, double check that you copied it over exactly. Yeah, it's not on here. Yeah, double check it really quick. Double check. Yeah, you're fine. No rush. Double check it really quick. Just make sure that it's going to the right place exactly. All right, let me refresh over here too. Sent through on a different email. Yeah, make sure. I'll wait. I'm gonna see if it'll come through. But double check the one that you're sending it to. I think as well. Just make sure that you copied over the whole thing, or that there's no typo in it if you typed it over, anything like that. I'll wait another second for it to come in. Yeah, because your email should be fine. Just make sure it's going to my right email. Make sure that it's like the whole thing was copied over, or make sure that there's no typos in it or anything like that. Gosh, these gnats are killing me. To the track talk submission at Gmail. need a better keyboard. Damon, yeah, we're closed up. I'm waiting for this email to come in. But we'll be back on live tomorrow. I'm just waiting for an email to come in, and then we'll close it up with this last song. Yeah, but we'll open up the lines again tomorrow for more consultations and more breakdowns. Let me double check something here. Yeah, Thank you for the follow, Damo. I appreciate that. Okay, perfect. Was it like a typo or like a different letter or anything? Let's see. Yeah, no worries. You're good, man. Heads up on the linked email. There is full stop, which might be throwing it off. What does that mean? What do you mean? Safe. Oh, you're good. No worries. What do you mean safe? Because everyone else, I mean, I've taken thousands of submissions and it hasn't been an issue, so it shouldn't be an issue. But let me know if you are picking up on something that I'm missing. Time mine, you as well, brother. I hope you're doing amazing today. How's your day been? Yeah, but what do you? Do y'all know each other? I was on the link the email there. Hell yeah, let's go. Okay, beautiful. Oh, I see what you're saying. Like in the link. Yeah. Okay, give me a second. It should load up. Should load up, and then we'll be ready to go. Let me let it upload, and then hopefully this works. Yeah, let me give it a sec. Sometimes it takes just a moment to come in, especially if it's like a WAV file or something like that. So we'll give it a sec. Lobto, what'd you hear? I'm not like super plugged in on Twitch. I'm here. I exist on here. But I'm not like super tapped in with Twitch streamers. I do like this platform. Outside of like me being live, though, I don't spend a ton of time on here. Let's see. Oh shoot. I am not. Oh, it's not coming in. Yeah, let's give it a second. Let's give it a second. There it is. There it is. There it is. Okay, beautiful. Wait, hold on. Delivery status note. Wait. Address not found. Oh, because oh wait, so I got the delivery email because of the typo. Do you have the one with the file? Or is it released? If it's released, I'll look it up on Spotify. So I got to get out of here soon. Yeah. Because that one is just the one with the track tack. One that's missing the C. What's up, Xander? What do I got on here right now? Whew, that's fun. That's fun. That's a OBXA. Oberheim. Of course. No worries, organism. I want to make sure you get heard. I think. Let me see. Yeah, OBXA. I love this thing. It's because it's in this production that I'm working on in the background here. Hell yeah. I really want to get, I just can't afford it right now, but I'm trying to sell a couple synths to get some other ones in here. I want to get an OB6 and I'm on the verge of getting a DX7. I just need to sell. I have a DX21 back here behind me. I want to sell the DX21, my SQ1 Plus and Sonic, and then sell a couple other synths that I have in here and just I want a DX7. I want to get a Prophet in here, and I would love to get a couple Moogs too, but you can hear really quick while we're waiting for this to come in. Okay, yeah. Let me refresh that in a second. But you can hear. Oh, it's Jesus, because there's another song in here. The context of where that synth actually sits in this production that I'm working on. It's big. I love it. Got you, organism. I got you. You can hear where that melody sits, though. It's really nice. I like it a lot. This is a fun production. Okay, let's, dude. I love it, and I love where it moves. It's got a cool feel. That's a DX7 in the background. It's a cool structure. Okay. Anyways, let's get into this track. I got places to be, people to see. It's time to. We got a Moog one in 3 weeks. Oh, it's a dream. That's a dream. That's a dream. That's a dream. I love it. I love the Moog one. I think based on what I have in here, I would like to get. I think I want a matriarch, but I don't think I have room, to be honest with you. This is some fairly small production studio, so I would love to get probably a grandmother. I'd love to get a grandmother in here, maybe like a sub 37. I think the matriarch might be a little bit too big. All right, this is Faster Thomas. This is Vaporwave. Give me all of the details, all the details. Waldorf Iridium, let's go, man. I haven't played a Waldorf in a long time. Okay, let's dive in. This is downloading right now. Give me all the details. So I've got organism in here, and I have safety in here as well. Talk me through the details of who I'm hearing, the role that you play in this, and I'll try to move through this fast. Shar, I appreciate you. Thank you for that. Yeah, I think most of if I'm building out pads and like chords and stuff, I have a Juno 106 back there. That's probably my workhorse. The Juno and the DX. Like if I'm going versus something with a VCO or DCO, and then something with something that's like FM. The DX is nice for like the FM stuff. Okay, come on, download. Don't do this to me right now. There we go. Thank you, Jesus. Everything's moving so slow right now. But that's what I want. I want a DX7 for the FM stuff, for that tiny, tinny stuff. I want a DX7. I want the Juno for what it does, and I want the Moog for what it does. At least so I have like those three that are really, really sharp and really solid. Okay. Finally, we made it. Okay, yeah. Give me all the details. Recorded, produced by myself and Safe. And then you prefer the Zebra? I've played a bunch of them. And I've used a DX7 before. And to me, it's just I do a lot of 80s stuff. And so the DX7, for what it is, to me, is just it's like a necessity for a lot of the 80s stuff that I'm working on. It just does that, so that tone's so good. All right, unmixed. All right, let's get into it. And then the vocalist, so you and Safe produced it together, and the vocalist is Safe, correct? Beautiful. Perfect.
Move me. Think about time.
Atmosphere.
Raising sinuses or vibrations or killing, or you start timing.
And then vocal recorded on the phone.
Stays above. Hold it. Rock it around.
We're closed for today.
Your life is
We're closed for today, but I'll be on back tomorrow. So tap in tomorrow. Make sure you're following.
I cannot hesitate. Hesitate will make you fail to resonate. Resonate is everything that you got. Seek the light. Seek what you don't. Wish you had not. Move me.
I really like your sound design. Yep.
What is movement? A movement bounces you down, and I get to excite myself. I get to excite you around.
I agree.
Riddled through the drum and the bass, the kick on the floor, the guitar in the sky, the violin all side to side. Just move me.
It's very atmospheric. I like it a lot. Sound design's really cool. I like this. This is cool. And then let me know too, let me know kind of what you want me to focus on. It's really cool. It's really interesting, man. Got you. Lines closed, y'all. Lines closed. But we'll be back on tomorrow, so just make sure that you're following. But we're closed for tonight. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Love the atmosphere. Great automation movement. You have that like RE201, that like RE201 classic Roland, you know, echo at the end right there. It's really, really well done. It is called, I don't think it has a name right now. It's Faster Thomas Vaporwave. That's the name that I had right now. Making some breakbeat parts at the very end. Yeah, you could get into a little bit of like D&B stuff towards the end if you wanted to kind of, you know, move it around a little bit. Let's get into it. Okay, let's dive into a couple quick details. I'm going to move fast because I got to get out of here. Faster Thomas is the name of the song, unreleased as of this point. Okay, and the one thing that I think Safe said, is it Safe? Loads more layers to be added. These are just placeholders. Okay, 100%. One thing that I would just be careful of, and this is similar to Rokusai said this over on the Purple app, but something to just think about when it actually comes to building out more layers to this. You already have a lot of space, a lot of ambience, a lot of movement here. There's a lot of automation. You have really wide reverbs and delays. You have a lot of, you know, filtering and processing that's going on. Beautiful. Love all of that. Be careful of adding more and just getting into a blob of noise, right? Make sure that as you add more elements, you really focus on filtering and cutting and positioning, and doing the same of that filtering. This is what Ro was talking about over on vocals. Okay, got you. I was like, in the production, yeah, just be careful. I mean, same with the vocals, though. If you're going to be adding a lot of layers to vocals, just make sure there's room. Make sure that they can coexist. Make sure that you are carving space for those vocals to sit. That way, you don't get into a space where this just is noisy. It just sounds like chaos. Because there's a beautiful, you know, side to like controlled chaos, noisy music, especially in this genre, especially stuff that's a little bit more like experimental electronic music and hyperpop and stuff like that, where you can get into more like glitchy, noisy, atmospheric music. That could be a great thing. And then there's like a line that you can cross to just unlistenable. You know what I mean? It's like you can be right on the edge of like, this is like, it's like I'm floating through space. And then all of a sudden, like, this is like uncontrollable noise and I don't know what I'm listening to. And it's going to make me freak out. You know what I mean? So you want to find that balance and that sweet spot. So just keep that in mind. I'm not saying it's there. Keep that in mind as you're building more layers to the vocals. You're like, okay, I've got this noisy production structure, which is really interesting. And then I have a vocal that's really solid. If I'm going to add ad-libs or delays or any automation there, just be careful of that. Make sure there's space for it. What Ro was talking about, and I agree with, is like EQing your, if you have reverbs on buses and you're doing automation over there as well, making sure that you are like EQing those reverbs as well, and that you're controlling, you know, their frequency response so that you're not getting a bunch of mud, not only in the structure of the production, but also in the atmosphere and the ambiance as well. So a couple things to kind of quickly look at. Polyscraps is the name of the band. That's killer. I like that. That's way better than Polycraps. Polycraps will be the parody that they make of y'all once y'all are famous. Hav, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate you a lot. It's too late, y'all. My brain is shot. So I apologize in advance for whatever comes next. Had to turn down the subs for this experiment specifically. Makes sense. You got to carve a little bit of space. All right, let's dive into it, man. I'm gonna brush through a couple things pretty quickly because I think most of what you have here is really interesting. I have a couple thoughts on the way that you're recording. Tell me this just before we dive in, or as I get into the song. I'm gonna go through it fairly quickly. Let me know if you are planning to record with a microphone or if you are keeping the iPhone recording. Just let me know that much. And there's no right or wrong answer to that. In fact, I kind of like the iPhone. Okay, let's get it. Do a live welcome in. Thanks for joining. A C12 clone we will re-record. Okay, cool. Like an SE is like the SE, the red one. Different recorder. I think we have access to a C12. Okay, either like the SE or the Warm Audio, like WA12. Those are pretty nice. Okay, cool. Let's get into it. I have my thought. I'm kind of interested. I've kind of an interesting thought. We can dig into it just really briefly.
Move me. Think about time raising sinuses or vibrations or killing me, or you start timing it. Nothing stays above. Hold
Okay,
it,
cool. Nice.
rock it around.
Nice.
Feel
Okay, here's my loose thought. Obviously, this vocal can be like re-recorded and replaced and stuff like that. My thought is kind of like, yeah. So like you have some placeholders here. You have some scratch vocals essentially here, right? So with these scratch vocals here, I kind of like hey, what works. You know what I'm saying? Everyone's got a few of those songs. So you have your scratch vocals in here, fine, right? No issues with that. I kind of like the idea. So you have two options. You go high quality narration. You know what I mean? Right? There's that direction. You go high quality VO chain narration. This is for like a movie trailer kind of a thing. You know what I mean? And that's the way that you structure this interlude. Or I also kind of like the idea that you also go the other direction and you do just record with your phone, just back off of it by like another 18 inches. You do record with your phone and you keep it bad sounding, almost like a voicemail. You know what I mean? And like, I almost kind of like the idea. So here's the thing is with what you have here, if you try to improve the quality of bad quality sources, it sometimes just sounds, it's like lipstick on a pig kind of an analogy where it's like, it just sounds like you have like a bad quality, you have a good quality version of a bad thing, but you still have all this nastiness, right? Like in this case, it's like boomy and bright and heavy and all this stuff, but also like way too plosive because these are, the mics are way too sensitive and stuff like that, right? So I almost like the idea of like you just like almost like the way I picture it, and you could do music videos like this too, which you could actually record for a music video and then put that audio in the song, is almost like you're just like in an interview or you're just like talking to a friend about something interesting. And you're just like having a conversation about this like existential stuff or like all these things that you're like thinking about, these interesting ideas, and you're like toiling with this thing and you're just like talking and the phone's in the room just like recording a voice memo, and you put that voice memo into the song and you just kind of like filter it a little bit and hone it in and maybe lightly compress it. But that to me feels like way more connected. Like I feel like I would really be listening to what you're saying if I was just hearing a conversation with someone in the song, right? Like I'm just hearing this play and then you just like hear someone like talking to someone, right? Like just like really conversational, really natural. I feel like honestly, creatively, yeah, you don't have to do that. You don't have to do, I mean, hey, I don't mind, but you don't have to do that. Like creatively speaking, that to me feels more creative and more interesting and indie and weird than like, yeah, here's the great quality, like 2 mic narration right here that like, that's cool. Nothing wrong with that. But I also like, I don't know. I like the kind of like indie, the indie weird side of it. I just like that more than something that's too polished. It feels more creative. Whole reason why anyone has connected to the vocals is because, yeah, exactly. Like in fact, I like the mumbling. I like the mumbling that you have here, just less compression and EQ, you know, like less good and then just louder, right? Like less good and louder. Like, it's interesting, right? So anyways, take that for what you will. That's my little knuckle toes out there. Use a speaker as a mic yourself. 100%. Literally record a voice memo, record a phone call, put your mic in the middle of the room. Like tossing that out there as a random idea. It's yeah. That's my 2 cents. Right? So take that for what you will. Take that for what it is. I like, personally speaking, I wouldn't go super high quality unless you have like a specific melodic vocal in the background. You want to do something specific, record that high quality, tuck it in, mix it well with a good tube microphone. You'll be ready to go. C12 is great for this, or C12, clones are great for this, right? That's perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. But for a lot of this stuff, go raw. Pause. You know what I'm saying? All right, let me move a little bit into it.
hold it, rock it around. Feel that your life is up and
Yeah, just make that like a phone call. Make it like you're just recording an interview. Like someone's just like asking you a question and someone just happened to record it. That'd be so cool for like a music video too. If you just literally have like almost like imagine almost like camcorder footage You know what I mean? Like really raw, really indie, really like low fidelity. And you just have like this raw vocal camcorder footage kind of stuff. It's like shaky and weird and lights move. You know what I mean? Like I feel like you could have like a really cool like festival opener stuff. You know what I mean? Like lower fidelity. So the contrast here is super high fidelity music, vibrant, atmospheric, ambient music, and then like really low fidelity like vocal production. I like that. You know, take it, run with it, do your thing, or ignore it. Either way, it doesn't hurt me or matter to me either way. I just want to get, more than anything, I want to get your wheel spinning. Tolbzer, thank you for the follow. I'm sure I'm butchering your name, but thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. All right. I want it to seem like I'm like I'm watching, when I'm hearing, it's like almost like synesthesia, like I'm like watching a flashback, like an old like recording of something, and then this music's playing and it's like super cinematic. You get what I'm saying? And then this can be, I mean, I like this honestly kind of the way it is too. Raw, a little weird, a little raw, over chorused, a little phasey. I like that a little bit too. It could be controlled probably a little bit better. Yeah, I like it. Yeah. We're closed for today, but we'll be open again tomorrow. So I appreciate the follow. Tap into the live stream early tomorrow afternoon, and we'll get you up on the board.
What is movement? A movement bounces you down, and I get to excite myself.
Love your synthesis. Really, really nicely done. Let me move forward a little bit. We get to this next session. This is all great too. I like this a lot. Nice movement, nice phasing right there. I like it. I like it. I like it. It's weird. It's quirky. It's different. I like it a lot. Yeah, this vocal is just like you singing in the middle of a room. I like it a lot. Super alternative, super interesting. I would love, obviously you said there's more elements to add still. The only thing that I would say, last thing I'll say, and then I got to get out of here, is I would have one new melodic texture at the end here. Something honestly kind of like I had here. So like this OBXA, let me solo this real quick. Not that, that's not what I'm soloing. Let me bring it up real quick. This little guy. So let me, okay, so what I'm looking for is just like one, so you don't want it to feel looped, right? So it's really nice, dude. I like it a lot, bro. It's really cool. The only thing that I want is like a shift in tone and texture right here. So like one new high melody. Like let it do its thing. And then like one new thing right here. Even Giselle. Just that little texture. It's just like a little fuzz, a little texture, a little shimmer at the top of the mix. And for me, it's just like stair steps the dynamics a little bit. It gives you just like a little bit of extra, and you can pull away a little bit so it doesn't feel too looped over. Because you have really interesting texture, and it's all really organic and automated very well. So you don't want anything exactly, just a counter melody to the vocal. You have the vocal, you know, something that counters that. and acts as kind of a little bit of a call response that kind of just wakes up your B section here, so it feels a little bit more engaging, so that you don't get any looped vibe at all, but it just kind of opens it up a little bit. And that there are some nice additions in the like kind of the underline right there. So cool, man. So cool. Beautiful, beautiful. I like this a lot. This is cool. This is stuff I like. Beautiful, man. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. What's up, Kendall? Welcome in. Y'all show some love. Show some love. Show some love. Man, that's really, really cool. Shout out to Organism. Shout out to Safe in here as well. Remind me of the name of the band. So that people can check y'all out, and definitely get to make sure that y'all get a page for that stuff too, especially as you start releasing stuff. Man, y'all show some love and support. Organism, Safe. Love and appreciate y'all. Thank y'all so much for sending this in. That is Polyscraps, not Polycraps, please. Polyscraps. Definitely show some love and support. Go check them out. Check out what they're doing. Y'all are talented, man. I like this a lot. That's gonna close this up for today. Just a quick spiel before we hop off for those of you who are interested. My name is Torvik. I work full time as an audio engineer, producer, and session musician. So if y'all are interested in any of those services, whether that's tracking synthesis, I've got live drums, acoustic, electric, and bass guitars, vocals, stuff like that. If you need session work, you need full production packages, you need a mixing and mastering engineer. That is what I do full time. So definitely shoot me a message. I'll do my best to get back to you in a reasonable amount of time. Beyond that, we will be live streaming again tomorrow afternoon. So make sure that you're following on Twitch, YouTube, and TikTok right here. Love and appreciate y'all so much. Y'all have an amazing, amazing rest of your evening, and hopefully we'll see y'all very soon. Peace.